Pokémon, trainer of divine pets. Hello again, dear adventurers of the multiverse. Thanks for joining us once more on this epic journey. Remember, this story is pure science fiction from our wild imagination, so don't go trying to summon dragons in your backyard. The rights of this amazing novel belong entirely to its original author. We are only the narrators. Do you want more adventures? Show some love to our YouTube channel with a subscription and a like, and if you want exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting for you with open arms. Chapter 376 The Punishment Jar is finally finished. May, go find Balza and the others, they should be in the desert tower. Xihen came to May's side and said to her. I don't want to. May resolutely refused. Xihen, I don't want to leave you here alone. Yveltal, take her away. Xihen glanced at May, ignored her, and directly had Yveltal take May to the desert tower, which was the safest place now. Xihen, May called out to Xihen, but there was nothing she could do. She couldn't just jump down, so she could only let Yveltal take her to the desert tower. Inside the desert tower, the jar of punishment had already begun to be remade. Outside, the 7 legendary Pokémon began their attack on the desert tower. Xihen commanded his Pokémon to defend, shouting, Rayquaza, Mega Evolve. Their power was overwhelming, his Pokémon couldn't withstand it. Rayquaza, having undergone Mega Evolution, could now fight them. Latias and Rasmus also changed forms. Xihen, Ash, and Yagura, along with the legendary Pokémon summoned by Xihen, flew around the desert city, battling fiercely. Xihen's side was in the most danger, as only Mega Evolved Rayquaza could stop them. Therefore, Xihen was constantly engaged in close combat with Rayquaza and the other legendary Pokémon. Kyurem caught up with Ash, and Xihen and Rayquaza gave chase. Rayquaza bound Kyurem with its body, dragging it into the sea, and Xihen swallowed some seawater as well. The battle continued. Xihen seemed to have discovered the rework of the Judgment Jar and arrived at the desert tower. Xihen and the others were forced to come to the desert tower as well, surrounded by Xihen and the legendary Pokémon. Xihen, have your Rayquaza used Tornado to protect desert tower? Ash shouted to Xihen while sitting on Latias. Okay, Xihen nodded. Ash must have some ideas, right? Lugia, Xihen called out to Lugia and jumped off Rayquaza. Lugia caught Xihen, and Tsubasa jumped onto Yveltal. After sending May inside, Yveltal returned. The two Rayquazas together used Tornado to envelop Desert Tower. Latias, use Psychic, Ash said to Latias and Latias. I see. You're quite resourceful. Ash wanted to use Psychic to reinforce the Tornado to defend against the opponent's attack. This move was indeed successful, blocking the Hyper Beam from Shadowy. However, Shadow was also a clever fellow. He placed 6 auras around different parts of the tornado, with the other side of the auras in front of each legendary Pokémon. The legendary Pokémon attacked together, affecting the tornado. If it weren't for the 2 Rayquaza forming the auras, the tornado would have disappeared by now. But the legendary Pokémon attacked again. This time, the tornado really couldn't hold on, and the Rayquazas were also greatly damaged. The 6 legendary Pokémon began to attack, and Zixie began to resist. In a moment of carelessness, Zixie was hit by Shadow's Shadow Ball and slammed into the ground of the desert tower. Shadow went to chase Ash and Hoopa, but Groudon's flamethrower kept attacking Zixie. Zixie kept dodging, but luckily, Camo jumped out to help Zixie out of the predicament. Camo jumped up and blocked Groudon, Lugia blocked Kyogre, Yveltal blocked Giratina, Rayquaza and Dialga started fighting, and Xihen's Mega Rayquaza fought Kyurem. As for Ash, he was being chased and beaten by Palkia and Shadow. However, this situation was much better than in the original story. Xihen took out Xerneas again and used it to block Palkia for Ash. Ash was chased and beaten by Shadow, falling to the ground, but Shadow couldn't catch him. Seeing that all the legendary Pokémon he had summoned were blocked, Hoopa actually wanted to summon some other legendary Pokémon, and it was about to come out. Xihen felt a little desperate. Then Hoopa suddenly froze and didn't move, as if it was bound by something. Phew, Xihen breathed a sigh of relief. The judgment bottle was ready. The pitch-black sky began to brighten, and a ray of sunlight appeared in the dark sky. Gradually, the entire sky brightened, and the controlled legendary Pokémon regained their senses. Balza stood majestically on a rock, holding the jar of punishment like a savior. Xihen was speechless. I worked so hard all day, and you stole the spotlight with your magnificence. Sigh, The people who had been fleeing the city in a panic stopped and watched from a distance when they saw that everything seemed alright. Some even walked closer. Balza opened the judgment jar and retrieved the shadow, but the shadow was still persistent. The powerful recoil caused the judgment jar to fly out of Balza's hand, about to hit the ground, when the Squidward's Pokeball bounced off on its own, and the Squidward jumped out and caught the judgment jar. Hey, this is bad. If you touch the judgment jar, you'll be controlled, won't you? Xihen raised an eyebrow, looking at the Squidward. The Squidward was enveloped in the shadow's purple light, and its eyes turned red, as if it was about to be controlled. But after a moment, the Squidward's eyes returned to normal. Not controlled. Balza curiously ran over, seeing that the Squidward was indeed unharmed. Right, both the Squidward and Hoopa are psychic and dark types, and the Squidward is the only Pokemon with the same type as Hoopa, so it's okay, right? After thinking for a moment, Xihen could only explain it this way. Palkia, formerly Yuki's Pokemon, it helped Yuki battle Reshiram and Zekrom, and also helped Yuki attempt to escape through space, but failed. Later, it was taken away by Arceus during a battle at the villa. With each breath of Palkia, space becomes more stable. A legendary Pokemon of the Sinnoh region, Dialga, formerly Yuki's Pokemon, it helped Yuki battle Reshiram and Zekrom, and also helped Yuki travel through time to save Nekoma and Yuki's lives. Later, it was taken away by Arceus during a battle at the villa. Time flows when Dialga's heart beats. A legendary Pokemon of the Sinnoh region. Dialga can distort time, either speeding it up, slowing it down, or even stopping it. Because Dialga lives in another dimension, its behavior is almost impossible to study. There is evidence that Dialga has a strong sense of territory and will engage in violent conflicts with its nemesis Palkia. Kyurem, formerly the Pokemon of Haneda, it battled against Haneda's Kyurem during the Villa battle. Later, it was taken away by Arceus. Kyurem can generate powerful, freezing energy within its body, but leaked energy froze its body. Based on the ancient legend that Kyurem eats humans and Pokemon outside at night, it is inferred to have strong hostility towards humans and Pokemon. Kyurem is a Pokemon from outer space. Kyurem is the only Pokemon capable of learning the move Freeze World. Its transformed forms, Flare Kyurem and Dark Kyurem, can learn the moves Cold Flash and Freeze Volt, respectively. Chapter 377 Special Distortion, Vanishing Twilight Traces. The matter was finally over. Hoopa showed the shadowy figure in the judgment jar fragments of his past life, telling him that his older sister was waiting for him to calm down. The shadowy figure finally calmed down, and the judgment jar stopped emitting its dark purple light. The legendary Pokemon all climbed out of the water, returning to normal. People around took out their phones to take pictures of the Pokemon. Just as everyone breathed a sigh of relief, the entire desert tower was surrounded by a purple halo. Damn it! Spatial distortion. The legendary Pokemon were all isolated outside, while Xihen and some civilians were trapped inside. How could I forget this? Pikachu, Thunderbolt. Ash panicked, ordering Pikachu to use Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt attack on the purple halo had no effect. Palkia and the others outside also attacked, but to no avail. It's no use, these attacks are useless against spatial distortion. This place is going to be erased by space. Xihen grasped May's hand. Let Hoopa use his aura to send these people out, Xihen. Use this. Hoopa pointed to the punishment jar in the squid's hand. That's right, Xihen took the punishment jar from the squid, opened it, and restored Hoopa to his original form. This time, he didn't go berserk. Hoopa took out the 6 auras on his body and sent everyone out. The spatial distortion shrank smaller and smaller, destroying everything in its path. After everyone was out, the spatial distortion was very small and was closing in. Now you are left, hurry up and get out. But, Hoopa is afraid he can't get through the aura, Serena and the others shouted. Hoopa also looked helpless. Stop talking, you guys get out first. Xihen threw Xiaozi and the others out first, shrunk Hoopa to a small size, and then threw May out as well. At this point, the space distortion was so small that it could only accommodate 2 people. Xihen, May's hand reached in, but Xiaozi and the others pulled it back. Let's go. Xihen threw off his cloak and jumped out of the halo with Hoopa, but he was still blocked. Xihen, May couldn't calm down when she saw that Xihen couldn't get out and the space was still shrinking. This is bad, Xihen swallowed hard. He couldn't get out. He had been stubborn. Xihen tried to jump out again. He grabbed Hoopa's hand and tried to pull Hoopa out, but he couldn't pull him out and bounced back again. The narrow space no longer allowed Xihen any further movement. Hoopa, listen, there's no other chance. We have to get out this time. Don't worry about this so-called punishment, it's just a mental demon, Xihen said to Hoopa, looking outside the halo. Hoopa looked at Xihen, his eyes gradually hardening, and nodded. Get out, Xihen rushed towards the halo. Xiaozi and the others pulled Hoopa back again. Hoopa looked at everyone, remembering the past, Balzac and Myri, and the great-grandfather. They treated him like family. Hoopa, don't disappear. Hoopa wants to be with everyone, Hoopa shouted loudly, and finally, he was dragged out. But the halo disappeared, and the spatial distortion stopped. It was now an empty space. Xihen, Mei sat weakly on the ground, tears streaming down her face. Xihen. Where was Xihen? Yuhan, Ash and the others stared at the empty space, their hearts heavy. Ash clenched his fists. Although Yuhan had slaughtered a Pokémon right in front of him, he was still a decent person. How could he just leave like this? The ending. Not happening. A beam of light shone in the sky, and the legendary Pokémon formed a circle beneath it. Shinayuma stood below, looking at his Rayquaza and Yuhan's Rayquaza. He didn't believe Yuhan was dead. If Yuhan were dead, then his Rayquaza would be dead too. Myri and Balzac's necklaces glowed, the clouds dispersed, and Arceus appeared in the center of the legendary Pokémon, a person sitting on its back. It was Yuhan. It's Yuhan, Serena shouted to the others, pointing at Arceus in the sky. Mei looked up and, sure enough, saw Yuhan on Arceus's back, rising from the ground. Xihen jumped from Arceus's back onto Rayquaza, and Arceus left. At the last moment of the spatial distortion, Arceus reappeared and took Xihen away. Xihen and Rayquaza caught up with the departing Arceus, and they talked high in the sky, unseen by the others. Every time there's a spatial distortion, you're there. I'm starting to suspect you're doing it on purpose, Xihen said, implying that Arceus was deliberately creating a spatial distortion in their area. You're always there when the legendary Pokémon cause trouble. It's your problem, Arceus retorted mercilessly. Take them all back. I don't think they want to leave you. Arceus looked down at the legendary Pokémon below and said to Xihen. I would have done that without you saying so, Xihen sighed, then watched Arceus disappear. Xihen returned to the ground and, under the gaze of millions, took out 6 Ultra Balls and captured all the legendary Pokémon. Although Kyurem, Groudon, and Kyogre weren't Xihen's Pokémon, they were still willing to follow him. So, who exactly is he? Balls' eyes nearly popped out of their sockets as they watched this scene. Because they were so focused on finding the retribution bottle, they were largely unaware of what was happening outside and had no idea who Yuhan was. He is the Sinnoh champion and Pokémon master, the vice mayor of Binhe City, Kamiya Yuhan, the trainer with the most legendary Pokémon, the eldest son and heir of the Kamiya family, currently the richest and strongest person in the world. I've already given a very simple introduction. Kamiya Tsunoya jumped out and said to them. Seems pretty amazing, Arceus. Arceus is believed to have created the entire Sinnoh region and even the entire Pokémon world, the Lakons, Uxie, Memric, and Azelf, and the mythical Pokémon, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. Because of this, Arceus is considered the oldest Pokémon species. It is said to have been born from an egg in nothingness and then created the entire world. Legend has it that Arceus has 1,000 arms. Arceus possesses the ability to recreate the mythical Pokémon, a power speculated to be used to protect this dimension should Pokémon trainers capture any of them. According to the anime, Arceus also has the ability to restore destroyed objects, make things disappear, and stop time. Ancient historical records show that Arceus has always watched over and protected the Pokémon planet, saving humanity from catastrophes such as meteor showers. Arceus also shows equal kindness to those who show him respect and gratitude. Arceus dislikes being deceived and will resort to violence when betrayed or deceived. Arceus harbors resentment when deceived by someone he considers a friend. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 378 Heading to the Unova region. The appearance of Arceus and the news of Xihen capturing a group of legendary Pokémon lingered in everyone's minds. Afterwards, Ash and his friends, along with Xihen and Mei, returned to the desert tower. The area had been flattened, and Hoopa said he would only return to the Valley of Creation after repairing it. Xihen also gave up the idea of capturing Hoopa. Balzac and Myri had grown up with Hoopa. Even if Hoopa didn't want to leave them, they wouldn't let him go. Since everything's alright, I'm going to Unova. I wonder how Gadri is doing. All of Xihen's legendary Pokémon had returned to their new villa, inside the Pokéballs, so they wouldn't cause Cynthia any trouble. See you someday. Balzac extended his hand to Xihen, who shook it and nodded. Then, he left with Mei and Gardevoir, who was preparing for Mega Evolution and long-distance teleportation. What an incredible person, Myri muttered to herself, looking at the spot where Xihen had left. Xihen and Mei arrived in the Unova region, specifically in Flying Cloud City, the largest and most central city in the region, a magnificent site with countless skyscrapers. Located near the Flying Cloud Gym and the Game Freak headquarters, this most important port city in Unova is characterized by its towering buildings, and the central park connecting the city's main roads is a popular recreational spot. Gedalia had told Xihen that her parents lived here, and since there was still no news of her, Xihen had no choice but to come here to find her. Xihen and Mei first went to the Pokémon Center to restore their strength, then went to the outskirts of Flying Cloud City. Their family villa was located there. Walking down a street, they saw a large iron gate. That was Gedalia's largest villa. Excuse me, who are you? Xihen and Mei approached the gate, and an old man emerged from a small house behind it, looking like a doorman. We're here to see Gedalia. Is she here? Yes, yes. Oh, the gatekeeper sighed. What's wrong? Hearing that Gedalia was here, Xihen felt relieved, but the gatekeeper's tone seemed ominous. Recently, we've been hearing Miss and Master arguing. It's been going on ever since Miss came back a week ago. Do you know what they were arguing about? No, the gatekeeper shook his head. He's old, and it's too far away. I can't hear what they were saying. Alright, could you please call her out for me? Xihen nodded. It was better to ask Gedalia in person. I'll tell Master. The gatekeeper went back to the small house and made a phone call to the villa. After passing through the iron gate, they had to go through a large courtyard to reach the living quarters. The courtyard was filled with flowers and plants, and Pokémon were playing there. A moment later, the gatekeeper came out of the small house. The master asked me to invite you in. Please follow me. The gatekeeper opened the door and let Xihen and Mei in. After closing the door, a small recreational vehicle drove out from beside the small house and took Xihen and Mei to the villa. Xihen, being a worldly person, thought about whether he should also build a villa like this after seeing it. After riding in the recreational vehicle for about 3 or 4 minutes, they arrived at the villa entrance, where a middle-aged man was waiting. The middle-aged man greeted Xihen and Mei. Welcome to my home, Master Xihen. This man was Jildiria's father. There were security cameras at the villa entrance, and he had seen Xihen on the cameras, which was why he had let Xihen in so readily. Otherwise, if anyone could just say they wanted to see Jildiria, wouldn't it be chaos? Uncle, hello, nice to meet you. Xihen politely shook hands with Jildiria's father and greeted him. Mei smiled sweetly at him, which also counted as a greeting. I always see you in the news. It's great to see you in person today. Not at all, uncle, you're quite famous too. The two walked into the villa, exchanging words as they went. At the behest of Gadria's father, they arrived at the villa's main hall, where a butler had prepared tea for them. The villa itself was large and spacious, creating a comfortable atmosphere. Uncle, I came to see Gadria. She hasn't answered my calls. I wonder how she is. Xihen didn't finish her sentence. Xiaoa is fine. She's in her room. I just had her mother go and call her. She'll be here soon. Gadria's father seemed very eager for Xihen to see Gadria. Xihen frowned, sensing something was amiss. Such a large villa, yet only a doorman and a butler, not even a cleaner or someone to manage the yard. Gadria's father had heavy bags under his eyes, as if he hadn't slept well in a long time. What had he been busy with lately? Everything Xihen had observed since entering the villa told him that something was about to happen. Uncle, have you been very busy lately? You don't seem to have had much rest. Xihen casually chatted with Gadria's father. Sigh, it's all because of Xiaoa's marriage. That girl has been spoiled since she was little and is disobedient. It was so difficult to get her to agree, Gadria's father seemed to have a headache just thinking about it. Marriage? May looked at Xihen, her mouth agape. What marriage? How come she didn't know? Gadria has a marriage, then Xihen. It's nothing, Xihen nodded, squeezing May's small hand. Uncle, who is Gadria going to marry, eh? Gadria's father seemed surprised. Don't tease me, Master Xihen. Isn't she marrying your third brother, Xihen? How could you not know? You came here today to check on Xiaoya's situation, Gadria's father chuckled and said. Xihen Zhoi? Xihen frowned. How could it be this guy? However, it seemed that Gadria's father was unaware of their discord. It was best not to say too much now, they could discuss it further with Gadria when she arrived. Third brother, May gritted her teeth. This guy's first act of causing trouble was to steal Xihen's woman. He's really ruthless. I know, I was just asking casually. The atmosphere was awkward, and Xihen smiled, trying to ease the tension. Did it ease it? Clearly not. Finally, after a short while, Gadria's mother brought Gadria downstairs. Chapter 379 Pokémon Black Market Shareholders. Gadria, May excitedly ran over first, bumping into Gadria before she even finished descending the stairs. May, long time no see. Gadria seemed to have been forced to wear makeup. She never wore makeup when traveling with Yuki and May, but even with makeup, it was obvious Gadria looked haggard. You definitely haven't been eating properly these past few days, May pouted at Gadria. How did you know? Gadria gave a forced smile, and May whispered in her ear, your chest has practically disappeared from hunger. PFFT, Gadria chuckled, but suddenly tears welled up again. It was so much fun being with May and the others. Don't cry, May anxiously tried to comfort Gadria, but Gadria cried even harder. Uncle, let us talk to her alone, Xihen pursed his lips and said to Gadria's father. He hesitated for a moment, then nodded, and led Gadria's mother back to their room. After they left, Xihen sat down next to Gadria, and the three of them sat on the stairs. Two of them held Gadria, letting her cry. After a while, Gadria stopped crying. It's only been a few days, why have you become so prone to crying? Xihen wiped away Gadria's tears and said to her. Gadria leaned against Xihen's chest. Xihen, Gadria finally managed to speak. Our family has been targeted by the Pokémon black market. Father was scammed, and all the other houses have been sold. This is all we have left, so, he wants you to marry someone else to avoid bankruptcy, May suddenly said, as if she understood something. Gadria nodded, how could they do this? You're their daughter. May was immediately unhappy, how could her parents do this? The Pokémon black market, Xihen frowned. Pokémon trading, illegal housing trading, drugs, loan sharking, the Pokémon black market does more than just Pokémon trading. It's not just that Pokémon are obtained illegally, there are many other things involved. Since Gadria's father is involved in this, and it could bankrupt a wealthy family and cost their daughter their fortune, it's probably drugs. Father said. I have to marry the biggest shareholder of the Pokémon black market, and that will solve the problem. Xihen is my third brother. I've never met him. It seems he's the one who did this. Xihen, Gadria asked curiously. Alright, you have a third brother too. May had only seen Gadria after hearing about Xihen's third brother and had forgotten about him. It's my fault, I didn't tell you. Xihen had only told Cynthia about it, not wanting Gadria and May to worry. During the Pokémon summer camp, I went to Battle Castle, and there I met Xihen. He told me that my third and fourth uncles also faked their deaths. He encountered my third and fourth brothers and attacked him, almost killing him. One Xihen was enough for you, and now there's another third and fourth uncle. You mean they've teamed up against you? May was indeed worried about Xihen's reaction. It's okay, don't worry, Xihen patted May's head. I feel like they've already started making their move. Xihen looked at Gadria meaningfully. You mean? Gadria was taken aback. The trouble in Gadria's family was probably all part of Xihen's plan. Don't worry, you won't marry him, Xihen smiled at Gadria, placing his hand on her face. Gadria grasped Xihen's hand. Do you have any ideas? Buy the shares in the Pokémon black market, surpass Xihen's. After all, Xihen was now the richest person in the world. I'll make a call first, there's something I need to ask. Xihen patted Gadria's hand to reassure her, then went to the courtyard to call Xihen. Xihen answered quickly. What is it, Xihen? Who is the largest shareholder in the Pokemon black market? Shinai Takuya and Shinai Yusei, your third uncle and your fourth uncle. Shinai Yu only started investigating after hearing about their situation from Shinai Yu Changaya, and that's how he discovered this matter. Those two, they originally each owned 25%, but after merging, their shareholding is 50%, the largest among the shareholders. And you? What's your share? Me. How could I get involved in the Pokemon black market? I don't have any shares, Shen Yuiyu said somewhat awkwardly. This matter is urgent. You know so much about it, so don't say anything irrelevant. Xihen didn't leave Shen Yuiyu any room for maneuver. He was definitely involved in the Pokemon black market as well. After investigating this matter a while ago, I quickly bought the shares of the other 3 shareholders from my 10% stake, which means I now own 40%. Shen Yuiyu had no choice but to admit it, but luckily he acted quickly. What about the other 10%? Once he bought that last 10%, his shareholding would reach 50%, and Shen Yuiyu Zhou and Shen Yuiyu Sheng wouldn't be able to do anything to the Catlia family. I can't find it. That shareholder is very mysterious and hasn't shown up. I don't know who he is. You have to help me, Xihen almost pleaded with Shen Yuiyu. I will help you. You are my son. It seems that no matter what, you can rely on your father. Happy Father's Day to all fathers. Xihen nodded on the other end of the phone. I also know about the Gianteria matter. Their company will soon receive our investment, the paralyzed company will soon be running again, and their house issue will be resolved soon. Shen Yuiyu is indeed a business veteran. He acts very quickly. This is not only a battle between Xihen, Shen Yushin, and Shen Yazhou, but also a battle between Shen Yuiyu and them. But if the fundamental problem is not solved, no matter how much money is invested, it will be useless. I suspect the root of this matter is drugs, Xihen and Shen Yuiyu said at the same time. I understand. This must be a problem with the Gadria's father. I'm at their house now, and I'll look into it. Okay, I'll continue to help you find that mysterious shareholder, Shen Yuiyu said. Thank you, father. Xihen hung up after saying that, but it didn't diminish Shen Yuiyu's emotion at being called father. It had been so long since he'd heard his son call him that. Chapter 380 The Two Brothers of the Shen Yuiyu Family. Don't worry, everything will be alright. When Xihen returned, Mei and Gerdalia were in the living room. They sat on the sofa, and Mei was comforting Gerdalia. Gerdalia nodded. She had never asked who her husband was before, and now she knew it was Shen Zhui, Xihen's third brother. I just called my father. He owns 40% of the Pokemon black market, and Shen Zhui and his group own 50%. If we can find that last 10%, we'll be unable to continue, Xihen came back and said to them. At the same time, Gedalia's parents also came downstairs. They had just received a call from people at each company saying that just when their companies were about to be demolished, they received investment, allowing them to reopen. They also had enough new employees, and the companies were operating normally again, with cash flow returning to normal. What's going on? Jian's father looked at his phone, then at Xihen with some incomprehension. I'm not with Shen Yazhou. They want to ruin you, to make you hand over Jiada's mother willingly. They want to ruin you? You mean, Shen Yazhou did all this? How have you been running your business all these years? What exactly did you get involved in the Pokemon black market? Were you lured in? Shen Yazhou also ruined your company, and you don't even know who did it, Xihen said helplessly to Jiada's father. Jiada's father couldn't bring himself to say it. Let me explain. Jiada's mother hesitated for a long time before speaking, and the group sat down on the sofa to chat. Last month, my husband went to the Pokemon black market to do real estate business, but he got scammed and started using drugs, and then, his drug addiction led Gadria's father to embezzle company funds. The more money he had, the more his drug cravings grew, causing the company to run out of cash. Coupled with Takuya Kamiya's secret sabotage, the company went bankrupt. But Gadria's father couldn't stop using drugs and started selling off his assets, including the house. In the end, only this villa remained. They were desperate. That's when Takuya Kamiya called, their only hope. So all of this is because of you, right? Gadria looked at her father in disbelief. It turned out that the heavy bags under Gadria's father's eyes that Xihen had noticed before were caused by drug use. Gadria's father didn't speak. Tears streamed down his face, washing away his makeup. Without makeup, his pale face was clearly visible, all the result of drug use. Looking at you now. I should send you to rehab, Xihen said. It didn't work, Gadria's father sighed. Come with me, Xihen said to Gadria's father. Then the two went out. Xihen took out a high-level ball, and they teleported instantly to a different place. It was a space with a bed, a toilet, and nothing else. Surrounding them was a square wall of light, a space created by Pidgeot. You'll stay here until you recover. I'll bring you food regularly, but don't even think about leaving. You've ruined Gadria. Xihen shook his head, then left, leaving Gadria's father alone. Gadria, do you want to come with us to Carlos first? We'll handle things here, May said to Gadria when Xihen returned. Where's father? Gadria asked Xihen. I created this space with Pidgeot for him to rehab in. Don't worry, he'll be fine, okay, Gadria nodded. Beep beep beep, Gadria's mother's phone rang. It's Shen Yuzhoi, Gadria's mother said after seeing the caller ID. Answer it first, okay, Gadria's mother nodded and answered the phone. I just called your husband, but I couldn't get through, so I had to call you. We've set a time, tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock, come to the 8th floor of Xihen Hotel, Shen Yuzhoi said on the other end of the phone. He saw that Gadria's family's company was being restored one by one, and he knew something was wrong. Shen Yuzhoi, who originally wanted to have some fun, had to move up the time. I'll be there, Shen Yuzhoi. Xihen took the phone and said to the other end of the line, Wow, cousin, you're here pretty fast. Shen Yuzhoi on the other end of the line was stunned for a moment before realizing that it was Xihen. We can't be slow, but you're not dealing with me, you're dealing with the Pokémon black market people. They're all board members, and they're the ones causing trouble for their family. Once I find the other shareholder, this will be over. That depends on whether you can find him, cousin. See you tomorrow. Shen Yuzhoi hung up the phone after saying that. It's already afternoon. He's meeting tomorrow. How are we going to find that shareholder in just one night? Gadria said anxiously. Xihen gritted his teeth. There was no way. Who exactly was that shareholder? Ring. Ring. The phone on the table rang. It was the doorman calling. Hello. Gadria's mother answered the phone. Madam, there's a young man at the door looking for Mr. Xihen. The next afternoon, Xihen arrived alone at the Xihen Hotel, the most luxurious hotel in Xihen City. The restaurant was on the 8th floor, where Shen Yuzhoi was waiting. Xihen arrived on the 8th floor, but there was no one there. He could easily see the two young men sitting in the middle, which were probably his third and fourth brothers. Yo, big brother's here, a white-haired man called out to Xihen upon seeing him. Judging from the voice, it was Shen Yuzhoi, who had called yesterday. Xihen sneered and walked over. He sat down opposite them. He hadn't planned on having a proper meal anyway, so he hadn't ordered anything. I'm Shen Yuzhoi, and this is your fourth brother, Shen Yukazuo. Shen Yuzhoi patted the shoulder of the man next to him. The young man wore glasses, had short black hair, and looked like a refined businessman, but Xihen knew he wasn't. Two people who've been hiding their heads until now, only dare to show their faces now that Shen Yuhaneda is dead, Xihen said bluntly. What did you say? Shen Yuzhoi's temper was clearly not good. From this, Xihen could conclude that Shen Yuzhoi wasn't the only one capable of making these plans. Brother, calm down. We booked this place today, not to argue with him. Shen Yu patted Shen Yuzhoi on the shoulder. Xihen narrowed his eyes. He found him. So the smart guy was here. Chapter 381. We're here to make our eldest brother hand over his woman himself, Kazuo Shinba said with a sly smile. Yet, Tokuya Shinba thought for a moment and smiled the same way as Kazuo Shinba. They really did look alike. Could they be brothers, not cousins? Big brother, why didn't you bring my fiancée? Tokuya Shinba teased Yuukin after hearing Kazuo Shinba's words. Is she shy and embarrassed to see me? Ha ha ha, Tokuya Shinba laughed loudly, slapping the table, but he didn't notice the cold smile on Yuukin's face. Kazuo Shinba didn't laugh along, because he noticed that Yuukin's expression didn't change at all, even after being provoked by Tokuya Shinba. Little brother is really something, managing to get Gadria's family to hand her over to you, Yuukin casually praised. Ha ha ha. That family is such idiots. I only put methamphetamine in his dad's drink, and he started frantically demanding drugs from me, even selling his possessions. I watched him walk right into my plan. You know, this rich guy is really good at playing games. Methamphetamine, heroin, morphine, marijuana, he wants everything. It's hilarious. Shen Yuzhui rattled off all of this in one breath. Of course, when Katla's father demanded drugs, it was Shen Yuzhui's subordinates, not Shen Yuzhui himself. He said he didn't have any money, so I told him to move some company funds. I didn't expect him to actually do it, even selling their house. He's so stupid, Shen Yuzhui said, laughing. Shen Yukazuo, standing next to him, slapped his face and covered his face with his hands. This guy Shen Yuzhui is really too stupid. Before anyone even said anything, this guy had already spilled the beans. Why are you reacting like that? Even if he knows our plan, there's nothing he can do. Without that 10% stake, he can't get the board to listen to him. Seeing Kazuo's reaction, Takuya said to him. Kazuo thought it made sense and smiled. Seeing you all smiling like that, I'm almost embarrassed to show you, but I'll still show you. Xihen pouted and pulled out a document from under her cloak, slamming it on the table. Yesterday afternoon, I already bought the 10% stake. How is that possible? Kazuo's face fell. He grabbed the document, and Takuya was stunned, unsure of what expression to make. Darko, am willing to sell 10% of my Pokémon black market shares to Xihen for 1 billion, and I will not go back on my word. This sentence was prominently written on the last line of the document. Kazuo gritted his teeth and angrily tore the document up. Xihen didn't care, it was just a photocopy anyway. Darkrai, the trainer who used Darkrai and Latias at the Sinnoh and was defeated by Xihen, had been suspected by Xihen at the time of his defeat. It wasn't until yesterday afternoon, when Darkrai came to Catalia's villa to sell Xihen his 10% stake, that Xihen confirmed it was indeed true that Darkrai's Pokémon weren't his own. The price of 1 billion was clearly much higher. Darkrai was taking advantage of the situation. Xihen, however, didn't care. As long as it protected Catalia, he'd buy it for 10 billion. Even if you get this document, Gadria's dad will still be a drug addict. He doesn't have the money for drugs, Shen Yuzhui stammered. Shen Yukazuo stood up, his face dark, took out a Gardevoir, and teleported away. He really wanted to slap Shen Yuzhui. He'd already bought 1 billion shares, did he really need money for his dad's drugs? Besides, Xihen would definitely help him kick the habit. How could Shen Yuzhui be so stupid? He regretted his choice. Hey, wait for me. Seeing Shen Yukazuo leave, Shen Yuzhui knew he couldn't stay any longer, so he took out an Alakazam and left too. Xihen leaned back in his chair and let out a sigh of relief. Finally, this matter was resolved. Sir, will you be paying for the restaurant? The waiter, seeing the two who arrived first run away, ran over to ask Xihen. Xihen raised an eyebrow. He'd given his father's card to the waiter. This first encounter with Shen Yuzhui and his group had cost his family a considerable amount of money. Why are they so rich? Wasn't the money in the Jyadelia family always running out of funds? Firstly, because the Xihen family doesn't have a board of directors or shareholders, all the money is in their own hands. Secondly, because the Xihen family's mobile phone business is nationwide, everyone needs a mobile phone these days. With a mobile phone comes a signal, a charger, software, and games. Software requires a company, and for a company to get the software onto phones, they need the Xihen family to invest. Games require in-game purchases. For Xihen, this is all incredibly profitable. No one in the world can compare to the Xihen family's wealth. Why are you running? They still owe me money for drugs. Shen Yuzhui and Shen Yukazuo had only just arrived at the entrance of the Xihen Hotel when Shen Yuzhui rushed up to ask him as soon as he saw Shen Yukazuo. Are you stupid? Shen Yuzhui can afford that little bit of money for drugs, but Jia-Deli's dad will still need drugs in the future. Can't they help him quit? How could I have a brother like you? Shen Yuhushin finished speaking and turned to leave, refusing to listen to Shen Yuzhui any further. Hey, what are we going to do next? Shen Yuzhui chased after him, starting to nag incessantly. After this matter was resolved, Shen Yuhushin successfully persuaded the board of directors to abandon their attack on Jia-Deli's family. Frankly speaking, Shen Yuhushin still holds the largest share in the Pokémon black market. The other two combined only own 50%. If Shen Yuhushin were unhappy, the Pokémon black market would be ruined, so they dared not say anything more. Afterwards, Xihen, Mei, and Gadria returned to the Unova region to continue their journey. Gadria's household staff also returned, gardener, maid, cook, nanny, making their home less deserted. Because Gadria's father needed to rehabilitate his drugs, her mother was busy with company affairs. Gadria's mother was a very capable businesswoman, handling these matters with ease, so there was no need to worry. Gadria was overjoyed to be back with Xihen's team. She had never been so happy in her life. There was also a small detail. The Xihen ring on Gadria's hand had been moved from her index finger to her ring finger, a symbol of engagement. Everyone was happy, except for Takuya Kamiya. There was one other person who was also in great distress. In Pokia's space. Let me out. I can't take it anymore. Give me the drugs. Let me out. Gadria's father pounded on the space's walls, clearly in agony, but no one could hear his cries. Chapter 382 continues on to Bake City. Xihen and the others continue their journey to challenge the Bake City gym. They return to the Kalos region. To reach Bake City, they needed to cross a snow-covered mountain. At the foot of the mountain, there was a place to rent Mamosween, which they would use to cross. Each Mamosween could carry a maximum of 2 people. May insisted on riding one herself, so Xihen and Gadria rode one. There was also a place to rent warm clothes, as it would be very cold crossing the snow-covered mountain. Why don't we just teleport there? Gadria said, wrapping her clothes tighter, feeling a bit cold. I wanted to see if I could catch any ice-type Pokémon. Besides, have you ever ridden a Mamosween? Gadria sat on the back of the chair, hugging Xihen, and shook her head. How could I have ever ridden a Mamosween? After finally climbing a slope on their Mamosween, they had to cross a suspension bridge. The bridge was located in a windy spot, and gusts of wind blew as they crossed. The scenery here is so beautiful. May lay on the ivory boar, looking at the scenery around the snow-capped mountains. Yet, Gadria nodded, looking around. The scenery of the snow-capped mountains was indeed beautiful. It's just a bit cold. Xihen tightened his cloak, wearing his thick clothes underneath. Eh? Those are ivory boars. May suddenly sat up, pointing to 2 ivory boars at the entrance of a cave. Are there other people here? Xihen and Gadria also saw them. Should we go see? May said, walking over with the ivory boars. You've already gone over there. Why are you asking me? Xihen helplessly followed May. Come to think of it, who would be here at this time? Clement. May saw a blonde boy appear in the cave. It really is them. Xihen raised an eyebrow. Sister May, Uriga, who was next to Clement, saw May. And brother Xihen and sister Gadria. Uriga ran towards Xihen and the others. What are you all doing here? Xihen and the others jumped off the Mamosween. Snowcape has a fever, so we need to find the Dusk Pecan room and flower to cure it. Ash and Serena went to find the hot spring in the cave. There's a Dusk Peak there, Clement explained to Xihen. We have fever-reducing medicine here, Xihen said, and May took some out of her pouch and headed towards Snowcape. Huh. You're a big help, Xihen. Clement happily followed and ran inside to see Snowcape. Brother. Ash and the others are still in the cave, Eureka called after him. I'll call him, Xihen said, taking out his phone. Just then, his phone rang. What's up, Cynthia? Xihen, you big bad guy. Although it was Cynthia's phone calling, it was Neji's voice. Huh? It's Neji. What's wrong? What's wrong? My birthday was 3 days ago, and you still haven't said you'd come back. Oh no. Xihen paused, realizing he'd forgotten about it. Hoopa and Takuya Kamiya had all happened before and after Neji's birthday these past 2 days, making him completely forget about it. So much has happened these past 2 days. Neji, be good. I'm coming to find you now. No need, I'm going on a trip. With Staraptor and the Piplup I got from Professor Yamanashi, Neji suddenly grinned, as if going on a trip was something she was very happy about. She was actually fed up with all the mess at the gyms. You chose Piplup, that's great. So where are you going to travel to? I want to start my journey in the Sinnoh region, just like my brother Xihen. Really? Then I'll be waiting for you to defeat the Elite Four and challenge me. Do you think everyone is a monster like you? How could I possibly beat the Elite Four? Nikki pouted on the other end of the phone. If you train your Pokemon well, there's still hope of defeating the Elite Four. Xihen chatted with Nikki for a while longer before hanging up. She was with Cynthia, who had prepared everything she needed for her trip. However, Cynthia herself only carries Pokeballs. Could she really prepare everything for Nikki? Just as Xihen hung up, Ash returned. Ah. Xihen, what are you doing here? Ash was surprised to see Xihen. May and Lady Catlia are here too. Serena sat on a chair on Mamosween, her hand on Ash's shoulder, the two very close. Oh my gosh, why are you two standing so close together? May ran up to Serena with a grin, teasing her. Serena blushed instantly and quickly jumped off Mamosween. "We're leaving now. He'll be fine soon after taking the medicine." Seeing May being mischievous again, Xihen smiled and prepared to leave. "Xihen, come battle me," Ash suddenly said. "What's wrong with you all of a sudden?" Serena tugged at Ash's sleeve. "Next time," Xihen waved without turning back, and the three of them rode away on Mamosween. By the time they reached town, it was already evening, so they stayed overnight at the Pokémon Center because there were no hotels. The next day, they continued their journey to the next town, but suddenly it started raining. The three of them hurried to the Pokémon Center to take shelter from the rain. However, a few moments later, Ash and his four friends arrived. As expected, the arrival of these four meant trouble, and sure enough, the power went out shortly after. It turned out the roof was leaking, and the leak was directly in the electrical room, causing the entire Pokémon Center to lose power. Since Ash was willing to help, Xihen didn't interfere. A few moments later, the rain stopped, and Xihen and his group left, continuing towards Bake City. On the way, they encountered Hoiri and Diglett, who were running errands to buy parts. These two had gone the wrong way, so Xihen used Gardevoir to take them to the supermarket. Once Gardevoir returned, they continued on their way. In the afternoon, the three of them had a picnic outside. Xihen went to Palkia's space to deliver food to Katla's father. He looked extremely haggard, his eyes bloodshot. "It hadn't been that long. Let me out. I can't take it anymore." Gadraya's father, too weak to shout, lay on the ground, looking helplessly at Xihen. "No." Xihen shook his head, put down the food, and left, sighing as he went. Such a successful man, ruined by drugs. Thankfully, she wouldn't touch those things herself. "How is my father?" Gadraya asked hurriedly when she saw Xihen return. "Not good. Quitting drugs is incredibly difficult. You'd better not go see him. If you soften your heart, you're doomed." "Okay, alright." Gadraya gave up the idea of seeing her father. Chapter 383 Moltres and Moltres. To reach 100 City and obtain their 7th Pokémon badge, Xihen and his friends arrived at the foot of Mt. Alto. Ash and his friends followed closely behind. Mt. Alto is a volcano, and before even reaching the top, they encountered an acquaintance of Ash's, Doroba, the trainer who used Charmander at the Pokémon summer camp, though his Charmander had now evolved into Charmeleon. However, this Charmeleon was just as disobedient as Ash's Charmeleon back then, using Flamethrower on Doroba. "Why is Charmeleon so temperamental?" Serena exclaimed, looking at the Charmeleon using Flamethrower. "Does it want to battle?" Ash asked, and Charmeleon nodded excitedly. Then Ash used Flibbo to battle Doroba's Charmeleon. In the end, Charmeleon lost to Flibbo and became much more obedient. Apparently, a good beating would calm it down. "Ash, are you here to find Moltres too?" During their conversation, Dorothy suddenly asked, making Xihen's eyes light up. "Is there a Moltres here?" "According to the information I've gathered, this Moltres should be here. My dream is to photograph the Pokémon in the Pokédex and collect them in my camera." Dorothy started showing them the Pokémon he had photographed, including Zapdos and Zapdos. "Oh, right. This is my proudest photo." Dorothy suddenly remembered something and flipped through the camera for a while. "This is it." Dorothy showed them the camera. "I don't know what Pokémon this is. It looks like Suicune and Articuno. Its eyes are scary." Xihen turned to look at them. This isn't." Ash saw the photo and then looked at Xihen. "Let me see." Xihen took the camera. This is my Suicune." In the photo, Suicune spread its wings, about 1.5 meters long, its tail swaying in the wind, looking at the camera with disdain. It's your Suicune." Doroba was startled. "Where did you see him?" "Well, before this, nearby. Let's find Moltres first, then I'll go find him. Maybe this Moltres is one of their own." Later, Clement made some kind of rock finder. You could find a rock, and if you found that rock, you could find Moltres. Yuuki wasn't interested in his invention. "Let's go straight to the crater. Moltres will be in the lava," Yuuki said, leading Katla and May towards the crater. "Yet, I heard Moltres dives into the lava to rest." Doroba knew quite a bit. So the group arrived at the crater. "I say, that big bastard is still here. Let's just let it go this time," Kojiro said to Musashi, hiding behind a rock. "I think so too." Jessie nodded in agreement. Just as Team Rocket was about to quietly leave, a large rock rolled down, probably hitting Moltres. Suddenly, a plume of lava shot into the sky, and Moltres emerged from the lava. Doroba reacted quickly and took a picture. "It's not my molters." Xihen curled his lip, immediately recognizing that this guy was weaker than his own molters, and the flames on its feathers were also weaker. Molters immediately targeted Team Rocket, unleashing a flamethrower that sent them flying, and then turned its attention to Xihen's group. "Quick, hide!" Seeing his look, Xihen shouted. Sure enough, as soon as they hid, Molter's flamethrower came flying. "There's no other way, Froakie, Water Pulse." Since Molters couldn't calm down, Ash decided to attack, taking out Froakie and using Water Pulse on Molters. However, the Water Pulse was evaporated before it even got close. Then, Doroba's Charizard used Flamethrower, but it had no effect. Molters was also angry and used Flamethrower on Ash's Fliggin, but it dodged it. Molters then started fighting Fliggin, forcing it to the other side of the lava. "Fliggin!" Ash shouted, trying to run over. Molters turned and used Flamethrower on Ash. Xihen was about to use Protect on Ash when she saw Ash's Fliggin glowing brightly and charging towards her at great speed. Xihen knew there was no need to worry. The next one, the glowing Molters caught up, evolving into Talonflame and blocking the Flamethrower. It evolved. Ash's eyes lit up as he looked at Talonflame. "Alright, leave the rest to me." Gardevoir, Mega Evolution. Xihen took out Gardevoir and immediately Mega Evolved it. "Wow. That's Gardevoir's Mega Evolution." Dorothy took out her camera and started snapping pictures of Gardevoir. "Gardevoir, use Psychic to grab him." Xihen launched an attack, using Psychic to control Molters. Even Mega Evolved Gardevoir seemed to be struggling. "Slam him against the wall, Gardevoir." Gardevoir roared, slamming Molters hard against the wall. One more time, Xihen waved and shouted to Gardevoir. "Gardevoir!" Gardevoir shouted again, controlling Molters once more. Just as it was about to slam it against the wall, a sound came from beneath the lava. Mabara, a surge of lava erupted, and another Molters flew out. This Molters blocked Xihen's path, preventing him from continuing his attack. "No. He's my friend," Molters said to Xihen. "It's you." This time it was Xihen's Molters. "Why didn't you come out before?" Xihen recalled Gardevoir, and the Molters finally breathed a sigh of relief. "I was sleeping before." Xihen's Molters stood beside Xihen, rubbing its head with its wing. "You were sent here by Arceus." "Are they chatting?" Doroba took several more pictures of Molters with his camera, then raised an eyebrow at Ash and the others. "Yet, Xihen seems to understand Pokémon language," Serena said. "They were already used to it." "Come with me." Xihen took out an Ultra Ball. "Okay," Molters nodded at Xihen. After saying goodbye, the Molters left, and Xihen's Molters went into its Pokéball. He caught Molters. Doroba's eyes nearly popped out of his head. How could he catch a legendary Pokémon so easily? Those were originally Xihen's Pokémon? Ash and the others explained to Doroba about Xihen. "Next, I need to bring Suicune back," Xihen said, looking at the Ultra Ball in his hand. His Pokémon were returning to his side one by one. That way, he wouldn't have to worry about dealing with those two guys, Atsugi and Hanayu. Chapter 384 The 100 Carved Dojo's Predictions of the Future? After recalling Molters, Xihen and Ash's group headed towards 100 Peak City again. Dorothy told Xihen that they should be able to encounter Suicune on the way. Now, the group arrived at a flower field. Ash and his friends decided to rest there. May also liked flower fields, so Xihen stayed with him. All the Pokémon were released, and Xihen took out Gardevoir and Fennekin. "Wow! Brother Xihen, you have Fennekin." Eurydice ran over when she saw Xihen's Fennekin. Fennekin glanced at Eurydice, huffed, and turned its little head away, only to be hugged by Eurydice. "She's a bit of a tsundere." Xihen patted Fennekin's head. Fennekin pouted, indicating it wasn't tsundere, but that expression wasn't very convincing. "So cute." Eurydice was completely captivated by the appearance of the flame-eared fox. "Serena. Clement's tea is ready." Clement had prepared the tea, and Ash went to call Serena, but it seemed to scare away an Eevee that Serena was watching dancing. They seemed very interested in her and started looking for Eevee, ending up spending the whole day in this flower field. Dinner was prepared by May, Serena, and Gedalia. When Yuki went to deliver dinner to Gedalia's father, his condition had worsened. Fortunately, Yuki was hard-hearted and wouldn't be affected by Gedalia's father. Even though he begged and pleaded, it was useless. After waking up, Serena seemed to want to lure out a new creature through a performance, and she finally managed to attract Eevee. Serena also expressed her desire to perform with Eevee and try to catch it. Eevee seemed hesitant, And at that moment, a net flew towards Eevee. Gardevoir, Xihen called out to Gardevoir, who jumped out and used Psychic to throw the net back. Could you please stop causing trouble? That net was the one Team Rocket threw to catch Eevee. Gardevoir didn't wait for them to speak, and used Psychic to send them flying. Eevee, come here. Xihen crouched down and held out his hand to Eevee, giving it a kind smile. Eevee hesitated for a moment, then came over and rubbed its cheek against Xihen's hand. Xihen picked up Eevee. Eevee, it actually dares to get close to Xihen. Serena looked at Eevee being so affectionate with Xihen. Why is that? It's because Xihen's trainer level is too high. Most Pokemon will listen to Xihen, Gadrea explained to them from the side, while reaching out to Eevee in Xihen's arms. But Eevee clung to Xihen's arms and wouldn't leave. See? Xihen's trainer level is higher than mine, so we're closer. Gadrea smiled and withdrew her hand. Amazing. Serena looked at Xihen enviously. Eevee, Serena is a very nice person, Xihen said, patting Eevee. Eevee, but leaving me means meeting so many people, so that's what you're worried about. It's okay, you'll overcome this problem quickly with Serena and the others, Xihen continued. Yet, Serena is a very nice person. Mei took Eevee from Xihen's arms, leaving Xihen stunned. Why could Mei take Eevee from his arms? Her trainer level shouldn't be higher than his, right? But obviously, no one else noticed this. And for the Triple Crown Satellite Tournament, Xihen can coach Serena, Mei suddenly said. That's right. Xihen is a Pokemon master of spectaculars, Ash exclaimed in realization, startling Eevee, who jumped back into Xihen's arms. Sure, Xihen handed Eevee to Serena. Although Eevee was scared, it calmed down after seeing Serena's kind smile. Serena successfully caught Eevee, becoming Xihen's second apprentice after Dawn. The group headed to 100 Kill City. On the way, Xihen taught Serena some tips, Pokemon combination moves, and how to highlight the Pokemon in a performance. The next day, everyone finally arrived in 100 Kill City. Ash and his friends went to the Pokemon Center to meet Tino and Serena. Xihen and his group naturally went straight to the 100 Kill Gym, as Serena and her friends were preparing for the Triple Crown Satellite Tournament, so Ash and his friends stayed with Serena. The Triple Crown Satellite Tournament was the next day, so Serena and her friends began preparing for the tournament, following Xihen's teachings and drawing inspiration from the dance she received from Eevee. The 100 Kill Gym is circular, surrounded by 3 curved yellow pillars. Xihen and his friends entered the gym. Inside was a typical battle arena, but the moment Xihen stepped onto the arena, the entire gym transformed, becoming like a universe. The gym leader, Jijihua, appeared on the other side of the arena without anyone noticing. The battles are double battles, 2 against 2, 1 match to decide the winner, the referee announced, seemingly appearing out of nowhere. It's you, Jijihua suddenly widened her eyes, staring at Xihen. Xihen frowned. He'd felt this gym leader was acting strangely ever since he arrived. What was wrong with her now? Kalos is about to face disaster. Your figure is seen in the giant green eye. Jijihua seemed excited. What disaster? Let's have a Pokemon gym battle first. We can talk about everything after I get the badge, Xihen said, taking out 2 Pokeballs and preparing for battle. Go, Gardevoir, Flamethrower, I see, his future, Jijihua pointed at Flamethrower. Stop nagging. It's so annoying. Xihen couldn't stand her anymore. What was the point of all this rambling? Predicting the future? Don't be ridiculous. Even if something happened in the future, Xihen could use Dialga to go back in time and change it. The unknown future was meaningless to Xihen. Jijihua fell silent, no longer speaking. If Xihen got angry, the 100 times gym would be in trouble, she knew that. I accept your challenge. Go, Meowth. Both of Jijihua's Pokemon were Meowths, the female was white and the male was blue. It was said that this was her strongest partner. Gardevoir, Mega Evolution. Xihen directly had Gardevoir Mega Evolve to deal with the 2 Meowths. Then let's battle. Begin, use Help. And use Profit. Profit is a move that attacks the opponent after a few turns. Gardevoir, Psychic. Flame Lion, Fire Blast. Gardevoir used Psychic to grab the 2 Psychic Meowths and launched Fire Blast. Psychic Meowth, Light Screen. The male Psychic Meowth used Light Screen before Fire Blast hit, blocking Flame Lion's Fire Blast. Its ability is Playful, but that's useless. Playful ability allows you to use defensive moves first. Gardevoir, smash them to the ground. Xihen waved his hand, and Gardevoir's eyes narrowed as it slammed the two psychic Meowths to the ground. Fire Blast. Psychic Beam. Flame Lion used Fire Blast on them, and Gardevoir used Psychic Beam. Both hit, but they weren't defeated yet. At this moment, Psychic Meowth's prophecy activated, and the air distorted as many spheres attacked Gardevoir and Flame Lion. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 385 Heading to Yingxia City. Protect, Xihen shouted, and Gardevoir used Protect to block the attack. Mega Meowth, use Helping Hand, use Psychic. Gecko continued its attack, sending two Psychic Beams towards Gardevoir and Flame Lion. They ran to try and dodge, but thanks to the female Mega Meowth's sharp eyes ability, the two psychic attacks chased after them. If you can't dodge, then take it. Flame Lion jumped out to block the two psychic attacks. Well done, Flame Lion. Gardevoir, use Psychic. Gardevoir once again used Psychic to grab the two Mega Meowths. Catch them. This time they won't escape. Xihen had Gardevoir bring the two Mega Meowths to her. Flame Lion, Flame Fang. Flame Lion pounced and used Flame Fang on one of the Mega Meowths. Fire Blast. After Flame Fang, she used Fire Blast right in front of them, hitting them completely. Gardevoir, Hyper Beam, finished them off. Gardevoir slammed the two Mega Meowths to the ground again, and Hyper Beam hit them once more, rendering the two Mega Meowths unable to battle. Mega Meowth is unable to battle. Challenger Xihen wins. How did she know his name was Xihen? Everyone knows he's Xihen. After getting the badge, Xihen left immediately. Staying in this gym made him feel really uncomfortable. She's so weird. After leaving the gym, May and Gredalia also felt uncomfortable. That Psychic-type trainer is a bit too pretentious. As the Psychic-type Elite Four member, Gredalia also couldn't stand Jeju's behavior. She had only managed to foresee certain future events using the power of two Mega Meowths combined with psychic abilities. Forget it, we've already got the badge, let's not worry about it anymore. Xihen shook his head helplessly and put away the badge. That's the 7th badge. One more badge and I can qualify for the competition. That's nothing for you, it's a piece of cake. May waved her hand, saying nonchalantly. Speaking of which, you haven't had your gym battle yet, Gredalia suddenly said. Yeah, you guys go back to the Pokémon Center and wait for me, May said, running back to the gym. That little girl. Xihen shook his head and went back to the Pokémon Center with Gredalia. When Xihen and Gredalia returned to the Pokémon Center, Serena's Triple Crown Satellite Tournament had also ended. Serena successfully obtained her second Princess Key, and she only needed one more to participate in the finals. Xihen, have you gotten the badge yet? Seeing Xihen return, Ash ran over. Yeah, that gym trainer was acting strangely, it was unbearable. Where's May? Serena ran over. I want to tell her as soon as possible that I got my second key. Serena seemed extremely happy to have obtained her second key. She was still challenging the gym and told us to come back first. No wonder she told us to come back first. As Gredalia spoke, she sensed something was off. She glanced at Xihen, who also understood. This little girl. A moment later, May returned. Xihen and Gredalia were waiting for her at the hotel. Did you use Anti-E in the gym battle again? May saw Xihen and Gredalia staring at her as soon as she entered the room. I didn't, May tried to explain, but her expression clearly said, I did. So what? Looks like you need some punishment, Xihen said, then carried May and Gredalia to the room. Wait. Why did you have to punish me along with her? Gredalia was on the verge of tears. What happened? Well, I won't go into details. The next morning, Xihen, May, and Gredalia left. Ash and the others still had to challenge the gym battle, and Xihen didn't intend to wait any longer, heading to the next city, Snow City. Since that night, May and Gredalia now walk hand in hand, completely on the same side. If they ever wanted to poison Xihen, he would be caught completely off guard. Beep beep beep, Xihen's phone rang. He answered it. It was Nikki calling. What's up, Nikki, brother Xihen? I got the Iron Gym badge. Nikki's excited voice came from the other end. Really? Nikki's amazing, of course. Is Nikki traveling alone? Yeah, just me. Piplip. Yes, it's me and Piplip. Piplip's voice came through Nikki's words. and Nikki quickly corrected herself. Nikki's been working really hard. I'll definitely catch up with Brother Xihen. I'll definitely win the Lily of the Valley tournament and challenge the Elite Four. Psychic Meowth, a psychic-type Pokémon that suppresses other Pokémon. Male and female Pokémon with different appearances learn different moves. Males excel at support moves, while females excel at attack moves. Inside their ears are organs that can unleash powerful psychic-type attacks. These are usually hidden, but are released when the ears stand erect in times of crisis. These expressionless Pokémon rarely show emotion, but some trainers seem to enjoy their aloofness. Moltres, the king of fire and normal-type Pokémon, the evolved form of Leo, with a large, fiery mane. In a group, the male with the largest mane is the leader. Females are tasked with protecting the offspring. It fiercely exhales a breath of 6,000 degrees Celsius to intimidate opponents. Moltres, once Xiud's Pokémon, it was later challenged by Xiud to Pokémon battle with Xihen, lost to Xihen, and captured by Arceus during a battle at the villa. Moltres' wing flaps instantly created dazzling display of sparks, possessing a breathtaking beauty. When Moltres is wounded, it enters the lava of a volcano, burning itself to heal its wounds. In spring, Moltres migrates to snowy regions, bringing spring earlier to colder areas. Moltres is rarely seen by Pokémon trainers. Entei is a large, lion-like quadruped with mastiff-like features. Entei has brown fur all over its body, with a long gray beard covering its entire back, and gray flakes on its sides easily reminiscent of a volcanic crater. Entei has gray claws, brown paw pads, and bracer-like bands on its legs. Its face is plate-like, mostly red, and shaped like a fish fin or hexagon. Gray flakes cover its snout and mouth, resembling a mustache. It has a golden crest with 3 horns on its forehead and near its eyes. Overall, Entei's head resembles a helmet in armor. Entei is born during a volcanic eruption. When it roars, its roar can cause another volcano to erupt. Emperor Yan usually lived on the grasslands. Chapter 386 Passing by a vast grassland. Xihen and the others were currently crossing a vast grassland. It was so large that they hadn't been able to leave even after walking for a long time. A group of flame lions and cubs roamed the grassland. What a huge grassland! May was panting heavily, hunched over as she followed behind, panting along with Gadria. Let's rest for a while, Xihen said, raising an eyebrow at the two girls. He found a rock and sat down, and they quickly sprawled out to rest as well. Looks like we'll be sleeping on this grassland tonight. Xihen looked around and then took out several Pokeballs. Come out, Xihen said, taking out Fennekin, Baby Tyrannosaurus, Noivern, and Camo. They naturally needed training. Baby Tyrannosaurus and Fennekin needed to evolve as soon as possible. Xihen instructed Camo in this way, and then Fennekin and Baby Tyrannosaurus were in trouble. Noivern looked at their worried expressions with helplessness. You have a Mega Evolution Pokémon, right? Someone walked up to Xihen, staring at the Mega Evolution key on Xihen's person. Can't you tell? Xihen raised his hand, showing him his Mega key. My name is Elaine, battle me. The trainer named Elaine stared intently at Xihen. If you can beat my Noivern, I'll have a Mega Evolution battle with you. Xihen pointed to the Noivern training nearby, and the Noivern walked over. Okay, I must defeat all Mega Evolution Pokémon. Elaine wanted to battle Xihen's Noivern first, and May became the referee with great interest. Go, Charizard. Elaine's Pokémon was a Charizard, and his Mega Evolution Stone was made into collar and worn around his neck. Noivern, Dragon Claw. Xihen launched the first attack, meeting the attack with Dragon Claw. Charizard used Dragon Claw to counter. Since his opponents didn't have Mega Evolution Pokémon, there was no need for him to Mega Evolve. The two Dragon Claws clashed, and Elaine's Charizard gained a slight advantage, seemingly due to the difference in levels, as Noivern was forced back 2 steps. Oh? Not bad, Xihen smiled. Since he had nothing better to do, he might as well play with this kid. Noivern used Dragon Pulse after Flamethrower. Noivern roared and used Flamethrower, attacking Elaine's Charizard. Elaine's Charizard retaliated with Flamethrower. Although Elaine's Flamethrower had the upper hand, Noivern took a breath and used Dragon Pulse. The Dragon Pulse combined with the Flamethrower that hadn't completely dissipated, shattering Elaine's Flamethrower and hitting Charizard. I advise you not to underestimate my Noivern, or you'll regret it, Xihen said to Elaine with a sneer. Elaine frowned. It still hadn't Mega Evolve and continued to attack Xihen's Noivern. Flame Breath, use Steel Wing. Elaine's Charizard used Steel Wing and charged towards Noivern. Xihen sighed helplessly. If Noivern hadn't yet learned Mega Impact, it would have knocked him away. Noivern, Flamethrower, but it wasn't a big deal, as long as it didn't get close. Steel Wings couldn't hit Xihen's Noivern. Flame Breath. Take it, huh? Xihen hadn't expected this move. Charizard took the Flamethrower directly, and Steel Wings knocked away the unprepared Noivern, slamming it into a tree. Charizard. Use Explosive Burn. Elaine, having gained the upper hand, immediately tried to finish off Xihen's Noivern. Explosive Burn hit Noivern, knocking it away again, but it still struggled to get up. Alright, Noivern, you can rest now. Xihen took out a stamina restoring fruit from his pouch and tossed it to Noivern, and also to Elaine's Charizard. Recover your stamina, then fight me properly. You've got some strength, kid. Watching Charizard eat the fruit, Xihen smiled and took out a Pokeball. I don't have many Mega Evolution Pokemon on me, otherwise I'd really like to have my Charizard fight yours. Hearing Xihen say this, Alan thought Xihen was a nice person, but Xihen's next sentence made him very unhappy. I'll let my Charizard show you what a real Charizard is. Go, Lucario. Although Lucario is a steel type, Xihen's Lucario is a fighting type. Mega Evolution. Xihen stretched out his hand, and the ring on his hand emitted light, which connected to Lucario's wrist, causing Lucario to Mega Evolve. Respond to my heart. Mega Evolution. Alan said this, which felt a bit strange, but Charizard had indeed Mega Evolved. Last time, Xihen attacked first, but this time Xihen smiled and stood still, letting Alan attack first. Charizard, Flamethrower. Elaine chose to use a ranged attack to test Xihen's Lucario first. Lucario, dodge and then charge in with Bone Shot. Lucario was fast, dodging Charizard's Flamethrower and instantly appearing in front of Charizard, two blue bone clubs appearing in its hands as it smashed down on Charizard's head. Charizard quickly used Dragon Claw to retaliate. Retaliate? At this moment, he wasn't thinking about defense but retaliating? Should he be called too naive? Lucario's bone clubs slammed down, blocked by Charizard's Dragon Claws. After a moment of stalemate, Charizard broke out in a cold sweat, its grip loosened, and it was hit on the head by Lucario's two clubs, falling to the ground with a thud. Close combat. Lucario retracted its bone club and unleashed a flurry of punches and kicks on the Charizard in front of it. Then, it performed two backflips and returned to Xihen's side. The Charizard was already lying on the ground, trying to get up. Charizard. Get up. Elaine watched the Charizard anxiously from the side, surprised by Lucario's speed and strength. You're a newbie, aren't you? Xihen suddenly said to Elaine. Elaine didn't answer, but Xihen knew from his eyes that he was indeed a newbie. It's a bit unbelievable that a newbie can possess a Mega Evolved Charizard. Also, he just learned Mega Evolution, right? Xihen said without waiting for Elaine to speak. How did you know? Elaine reluctantly admitted it. He doesn't have a firm grasp on his power, blindly believing in himself and thinking he's the strongest. You think the same way, which is why you wanted to retaliate against my attack. You? Who are you? Seeing Xihen's stern gaze in lecturing tone, Alan swallowed hard. Kami Xihen, Kami, Sinnoh champion. Kami Xihen, Alan finally realized. Chapter 387 Heading to the Valley of the End. Alan gave up the battle and left, saying that he would definitely be stronger next time he met Xihen and would definitely beat him. The three of them had a picnic on the grassland. After dinner, they began their night training. Baby Tyrannosaurus and Flame-Eared Fox began their arduous training, not just because they were being chased and beaten by Camo. Camo was chasing them to train their reaction speed and movement speed, both of which would play a significant role in battle. Baby Tyrannosaurus was very heavy, so if he could become agile, it would be more than just unexpected. There's something nearby, the venomous tongue within Xihen spoke. Xihen was taken aback, then thought of something. Is it Suicune? Doroba had said that they would encounter Suicune ahead. Had they encountered Suicune now? It doesn't seem like it. The venomous snake shook its head inside Xihen's body and said, it's just ahead, let's go take a look. Okay, Xihen nodded and stood up. What's wrong, Xihen? Mei asked when she saw Xihen stand up. Nothing, I'm going to take a look ahead, you guys wait here for me. Xihen patted Mei's head and smiled. Oh, Mei nodded and continued chatting with Gadria. Be careful on the road, Gadria just smiled and said to Xihen. Xihen nodded and walked towards the place the venomous snake indicated. Is it nearby? Xihen asked as he walked forward. Yes, forward, 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 yes, here, the venomous snake said. Xihen walked to this place, which was still a grassland. There's nothing here. Xihen was about to say that there was nothing here when suddenly his footing gave way and he fell down. A hole suddenly appeared in the empty grassland. You tricked me, Xihen shouted, the venomous snake within him laughing hysterically. Xihen seemed to have fallen directly into the depths of the earth through the hole. Luckily, the snake had a shred of conscience. Just as Xihen was about to land, it lifted him into the air, preventing him from falling to his death. At least you have a conscience, Xihen exhaled, patting his chest. Thank goodness he hadn't died. He was surrounded by a spacious, oval-shaped cave. Inside, in the cave wall, was a large opening. Seeing this cave and its opening, Xihen thought of someone. This place would be quite suitable for him to live in. Regichicus. Is that you? Xihen shouted towards the opening. Then there was a moment of silence, Xihen's voice echoing in the cave. After a moment, a thumping sound came from the cave, the sound of something running. Then, a huge creature emerged from the opening. It was indeed Regichicus. Upon seeing that it was indeed Xihen, Regichicus ran towards her, almost crashing into her. Luckily, it braked in time, catching her in its arms. Being held by this robot was a little uncomfortable, though. Okay, I know you missed me. Xihen was happy to see Regichicus. Regichicus had risked its life to save her, and was one of Xihen's early legendary Pokémon. You actually came here, Xihen said, looking around. You've quite a homemaker, Reggie. Regichicus laughed heartily. Xihen realized she couldn't understand Regichicus's words, but it didn't matter, as long as she knew it was happy. Come back, Regichicus. Xihen placed a great ball in front of Regichicus, which immediately entered it. Then, Xihen took out Gardevoir's Pokéball, released the Pokémon, and returned to the top of the cave with Gardevoir. After recalling Gardevoir, Xihen went back. When Xihen returned, May and Katla were already asleep. Camo had taken its baby deer Anasaurus and Fennekin to train in the distance. A Noivern was gloating nearby and was also caught by Camo for training. The next day, Xihen and the others continued to Snowdrift City, arriving at Lantana Town along the way. Lantana Town is surrounded by waterfalls and is famous for them. The next Triple Crown Satellite Tournament will be held here, and the venue is already being prepared, but it's not Xihen and the others' business. After staying here for one night, the three set off for their next destination. Currently, Xihen carries the following Pokémon: Gardevoir, Camo, Fennekin, Noivern, Baby Tyranitar, Squidward, Palkia, Dialga, Lucario, Yveltal, Xerneas, and Regichicus, which he retrieved last night. He's temporarily sent Pandaren back. He'll bring Lucario back when it's almost ready. The next place we'll pass through is a place called the Valley of the End, said Gudrediah, looking at the electronic map as they walked. The Valley of the End? What's that? It used to be a battleground, but it's abandoned now and inhabited by wild Pokémon? That means there will be a lot of Pokémon there. Let's go check it out, Regichicus. It's said that it can create Pokémon resembling itself using special icebergs, rocks, and magma. Regichicus is a large, white, golem-like Pokémon with 7 black dot-like eyes located in specific areas. These dotted patterns are Regichicus's way of expressing anger. Its eyes turn red when it's angry. Besides the eyes, there are 6 dots that appear to be made of gemstones. The red gemstone represents Regigirock, the blue gemstone represents Regis, and the silver gemstone represents Registeel. Regichicus has long arms with 3 fingers similar to humans, and short legs. Large yellow bands grow on its shoulders and wrists, and a sloping yellow structure on its chest serves as its head. Regichicus's torso is covered in black stripes, and moss grows from its back and feet, possibly suggesting it has been dormant for a long time. Legend says Regichicus's immense power can move continents. Regichicus communicates with the outside world through telepathy. Regichicus can control Regigirock, Regis, and Registeel even after they have been captured by trainers, and it can survive in extreme environments. When disturbed from its slumber, Regichicus will become enraged and unleash a powerful ray. When treated amicably, it will be calm and gentle. Regichicus can move freely in any terrain. Chapter 388: The evolution that has finally arrived. Inside the cave, Pokémon were everywhere, and there were many glowing green mineral crystals around, but these were all small Pokémon, and none of them caught Xihen's eye. Why don't we go deeper into the cave and see if we can find any Pokémon? May suggested. Xihen and Gadria nodded in agreement and headed deeper into the cave, but the further they went, the fewer wild Pokémon they found, and the green crystals in the cave disappeared. How are we going to get through? Looking at the small opening in front of them, which seemed like they could only squeeze through, I think we should forget it. There probably isn't anything left in this cave. Xihen raised an eyebrow at the small opening, and after discussing for 3 seconds, the three decided to retreat and head to Snow City. After discussing, they left the cave. At the same time, Ash and his friends were walking towards the cave. Xihen hadn't seen Ash and his friends for a long time, and he didn't know that they were carrying a small green creature, which they affectionately called Little Softy, but they didn't know that it was Zygarde. How far is it to Snowdrift City? Xihen and the others arrived at a Pokémon Center in the woods, where they decided to rest for the night as it was approaching evening. Let me out, I'm not doing drugs anymore. When Xihen went to deliver food, Gadria's father said this to her, no longer shouting. Really? That doesn't seem very believable. Xihen looked at Gadria's father, who was eating with his head down. Although he wasn't yelling anymore, his hands were trembling slightly, and he kept glancing at Xihen. This was proof that he was lying. He actually wanted to trick her into letting him out. How naive. I'm really alright now. He put down his plate and looked at Xihen outside the barrier. Sigh. Xihen sighed and shook his head. Don't lie to me anymore, it's useless. He fell silent, clenching his fists tightly. After a moment, he began to pound on the barrier violently. Let me out. His eyes were bloodshot as he glared fiercely at Xihen. If it weren't for this barrier, he probably would have torn Xihen to pieces. Uncle, please bear with it a little longer. Don't say I don't want to. Even Pokia doesn't want to create this space to keep you here anymore. Xihen shook his head and left, leaving Gadria's father roaring there alone. Now that there was nothing else to do, the group went to the battle arena behind the Pokémon Center to train. Baby Tyranitar had made significant progress these past few days, even learning Stone Edge and Shadow Clone. Baby Tyranitar, Stone Edge, Meowth, Protect. Baby Tyranitar was currently battling Meowth. The baby Tyrannosaurus Rex blocked all the sharp stone attacks, then charged forward. Baby Tyrannosaurus Rex, charge. Meowth, Psychic. Gadria had Meowth use Psychic to interrupt Baby Tyrannosaurus Rex's charge. Break through his Psychic. You can do it now, Xihen shouted at Baby Tyrannosaurus Rex, which began to exert its strength, charging towards Meowth with all its might. Meowth's expression began to show signs of strain, and it looked like it wouldn't be able to stop Baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. Meowth. Go for it, Gadria cheered Meowth on from behind. Hearing Gadria's encouragement, Meowth also began to give it its all. Baby Tyrannosaurus Rex and Meowth were locked in a stalemate, when suddenly, Meowth emitted a burst of light. This is. Just as Gadria was about to get excited, Baby Tyrannosaurus Rex also emitted a burst of light. They both evolved together. May jumped off the chair next to her, watching them. They finally evolved, Xihen said, watching Baby Tyrannosaurus Rex evolve. Both Pokémon evolved. The Tyranitar grew considerably taller, while the Psychic Meowth appeared much smaller. Great. It evolved into Psychic Meowth. Gadria's Psychic Meowth was female, hence white. Tyranitar, a Dragon Rock-type Pokémon, was nearly invincible 100 million years ago, ruling like a king. Its greatest weapon was its jaws, capable of crushing thick iron plates like paper. Come on, let's continue the battle. Okay, the two Pokémon faced off again, and just as they were about to charge, they both came to an abrupt stop. What's wrong? Tyranitar, what's wrong? Psychic Meowth, Xihen and Gadria asked simultaneously. What is this? Tyranitar picked up a small object with its two claws. To Tyranitar, it was smaller than one of its teeth. Let me see. Xihen walked up to Tyranitar, extending its hand. Tyranitar placed the small object in Xihen's hand. What are you? Xihen looked at the little green thing in his hand. I'm called Xihen, the little green thing in his hand said to Xihen. Xihen? So you have an owner? Xihen took out his Pokédex, which showed no information. You can understand me. Yeah, Cygnus, come back first. Xihen answered Xihen and then recalled Cygnus. You come back too, Meowth. Gadria also recalled Meowth and ran over. What is this, a Pokémon? May pinched Xihen's face. His face is so soft. May held Xihen in her hand. Wow, his whole body is soft. Yeah, otherwise, why would it be called Xihen? Xihen raised an eyebrow. He's quite good at naming things. But where did this guy come from? Let's go back and rest, it's getting late. Gadria looked at the time and said, what should we do with this guy? Xihen pointed to Xihen and May's hand. I'll just hold him while I sleep. This little guy is so soft. It's so comfortable to hold. Okay, Xihen shook his head helplessly, and the three of them went back to the Pokemon Center to rest. The little softy was quite well behaved and didn't cause any trouble. When they woke up the next morning, he was still sleeping in May's arms. After Xihen got up, he washed up and prepared breakfast. Then, Gadria and May got up, washed up, and ate. Just as Xihen and the others were about to leave, Ash and his friends rushed into the Pokemon Center. Please help me heal my Digivice. Clemont seemed very anxious. Xihen also saw the injured Digivice, which looked quite badly injured. What happened to you? Gadria went over and asked. Miss Gadria, Ash and the others finally noticed Xihen and his group. Eureka accidentally fell off a cliff, and Digivice tried to save Eureka, and this happened, Clemont explained to Gadria. Oh, I see. It's little softy. Eureka suddenly pointed at the little softy in May's hand and exclaimed. Chapter 389 Arrival in Free City. Huh? So this guy is yours? Xihen tossed the little thing to Eulogia. Since Ash and the others were carrying this Pokemon, it couldn't be anything good. In fact, Xihen wasn't wrong, carrying this guy would indeed lead to endless trouble. To treat him, we need to find this medicine, Nurse Joy said, pointing to a picture in the Pokédex. I'll go find it. It's in this tree hollow, right? Xihen pointed to the picture. Yes, Nurse Joy nodded. Let's go. Gardevoir. Xihen took out Gardevoir, and after sensing the location, Gardevoir immediately teleported Xihen there. Xihen picked some herbs from the tree and went back with Gardevoir. Thank you so much, Clemont said gratefully to Xihen. Well, we'll be going now. Xihen nodded and prepared to leave. Xihen, aren't you coming with us? Ash called out to Xihen. No, Xihen shook his head. Following them always meant encountering unexpected things. However, Xihen didn't say this aloud. I didn't expect Little Soft to be with Xihen and the others, Eulogia murmured to herself, holding Little Soft. Xihen and his group continued towards Yingxia City, passing through a garden along the way, where many flowers had been blown in by the monsoon. After passing the garden, Xihen and his group came to the Pokemon Center in the forest to rest. Look, there's a Pokemon Ball coming up, hosted by the host of the Pokemon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament. It's nearby. Looks like it's just a relaxing ball for Pokemon performers. It has nothing to do with us. Oh, May said a little disappointedly. Don't be disappointed. You see, there's a requirement to attend the ball. It has to be a boy and a girl paired up. Even if we go, it'll only be Xihen, the only boy. Gadrilia pointed to the information on her phone and said to May. That's right. May nodded. After resting for a night at the Pokemon Center, Xihen and her group headed back to Snowdrift City. The journey was uneventful. They even had to cross a mountain, and the weather was very hot. It wasn't until evening that they finally arrived in Frey City. There were no Pokemon gyms there, but the next Pokemon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament would be held there. Should we wait here for Serena to come for the Pokemon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament? No, let's rest for one night and then leave. Why the rush? Yeah, we'll wander around here tomorrow, and we need to buy some things. May looked at her backpack. Food, medicine, and other necessities needed to be replenished. They had already spent a long time in the forest and mountains. Okay, then let's buy some things in Frey City tomorrow, Xihen sighed. They definitely wanted to buy clothes. So annoying. The next day, as expected, Xihen was dragged to the mall to buy clothes, and was busy all day long. This was even more tiring than the gym battles and the championship challenge. When Xihen returned in the evening, he was already exhausted and collapsed on the bed, but then he received a phone call. Who is this? Hello, Master Xihen, came the voice from the other end of the phone. It's actually the host of the Pokemon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament. Pierre, oh, it's you. What's up? Xihen's phone number wasn't kept secret in the industry. Anyone with a bit of status could get it. Our people saw you in Frey City today, so we'd like to invite you to be a special guest for our Pokemon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament. Xihen raised an eyebrow. This was really troublesome. Go ahead, just go. Because Xihen's phone was on speakerphone, May ran over to persuade him to go. This little girl already wanted Serena to perform, and now with this phone call, it seemed Xihen couldn't escape. I understand, tomorrow afternoon, right? I'll go, please, Master Xihen. We still have to do a performance at the beginning, This Pierre is still going on. Alright, seeing May's pleading look, Xihen nodded helplessly and agreed. Below is an introduction to Zygarde. You can skip it if you don't want to read it. Zygarde, it is said to reside in the deepest part of caves, monitoring those who destroy the ecosystem. It appears when the ecosystem of the Kalos region collapses, unleashing secret powers. Because Zygarde's shape resembles the letter Z, players generally call it Z-God. Zygarde has 5 forms: cellular, core, 10%, 50%, and 100%. The Zygarde appearing in Pokémon XY and Pokémon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is in its 50% form, emergency form. In case of an emergency, it will act separately from its main body, the 10% form. Because only one core acts as its brain, it can only maintain this state for a short time. Its exceptional athleticism allows it to overwhelm opponents with its sharp teeth in battle. When running at full speed, it can exceed 100 km per hour. Its signature moves are volley of arrows and surging waves. Volley of arrows is a move only Zygarde can learn. Although a ground-type move, it can damage flying-type Pokémon with a levitate ability. Flying-type Pokémon hit by this move will subsequently become vulnerable to other ground-type attacks. Surging waves is a move only Zygarde can learn, rendering the opponent unable to escape or switch out. Zygarde acts as a guardian, monitoring the Pokémon ecosystem for anomalies. While possessing overwhelming power, it is merely a state where all its cells are concentrated at 50%. It retains an equal amount of reserve power. The ability Swarm Transformation allows Zygarde to change its form. Both the Zygarde 10% form and Zygarde 50% with a Swarm Transformation ability will transform into Zygarde Ultimate Form when its HP drops below half in battle. Zygarde's Ultimate Form is a battle-specific form that allows it to fight at full power, fulfilling its mission to protect the Pokémon ecosystem. Its wings and tail each possess a core that acts as a brain, making independent decisions and transforming freely. Its signature move is Core Punisher. Core Punisher is a move only Zygarde can learn, which removes the ability of an opponent who has already used the move that turn. Zygarde Core and Zygarde cells are inspired by single-celled organisms, such as Paramecia and Euglena. Zygarde Core may be derived from eukaryotic cells, while Zygarde cells are inspired by prokaryotic cells. Its appearance also resembles a hammer. The hexagonal mosaic pattern on Zygarde's body may be based on nucleobases and base pairs, with nucleotides containing bases being components of deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. Chapter 390 Xihen's Shocking Performance. Welcome everyone to the Triple Crown Satellite Safel Tournament. The next afternoon, the Triple Crown Satellite Safel Tournament began, and Xihen and her group arrived at the venue early. Xihen's performance was scheduled for last. After all, if Xihen performed at the beginning, wouldn't the other contestants' performances seem a bit boring? Would the Triple Crown Satellite Tournament even be worthwhile? So Xihen watched a series of uninteresting performances, but she didn't expect Rhyhorn to be so friendly towards Serena. Congratulations! Miss Serena has won this Triple Crown Satellite Tournament. This is Miss Serena's third Princess Key. Let's congratulate her on gaining the right to participate in the advanced tournament of the Pokémon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament. In the end, Serena won again. Since the competition was over, everyone was preparing to leave. Please wait a moment. At this moment, Pirno called out to those who were about to leave. Even the teacher of Miss Kalos, Misser, who was watching from a high place, stopped and turned to look at Pirno. At the end of this match, we have invited the Sinnoh region's champion and Pokémon Master of Spectaculars, Shizuka Gasho. As soon as Pino finished speaking, a waterfall gushed forth from both sides of the stands, and 2 melodics leaped down from above. Shizuka Gasho used one of the melodics to create a water sphere above the entire arena, without splashing any water on the audience. The entire water sphere surrounded the arena, making everyone feel as if they were in the ocean. Gardevoir, Psychic. Shizuka Gasho took out Gardevoir's Pokéball and threw it. Gardevoir used Psychic, and many water-type Pokémon appeared in the surrounding water sphere, swimming around, giving the feeling of truly being in the ocean. The eyes of everyone around lit up. Wow, so many water-type Pokémon? That's Lapras, and Staryu, that's the legendary Kyogre. Shizuka Gasho is still so amazing, Ash muttered to himself, looking around. Psychic again, Shizuka Gasho said to Gardevoir. Gardevoir flew to the center of the venue and underwent Mega Evolution, once again stunning the audience. Next, it used Psychic, making the Pokémon within the water sphere appear solid and rush towards the audience. In other words, Some of the illusions were fully 3D. Audience members and Pokémon that touched the illusions were reduced to splashes of water, creating countless explosions in the venue, like blue fireworks blooming. Gardevoir, let's wrap this up. Use Psychic to burst all the water in the air. Gardevoir's eyes glowed blue as it stretched out its hands. The water around the venue converged towards the center, above Gardevoir's head, forming a giant compressed water sphere, which then exploded with a deafening roar, scattering countless blue fireworks, all water, a mist that gently sprinkled onto the faces of the audience, providing a comfortable and refreshing sensation. Standing on the stage, Xihen bowed slightly along with Melodic and Gardevoir. After a moment of silence, thunderous applause erupted, the cheers and applause echoing throughout the entire city of Freya. Master, so amazing, Serena, having heard that Xihen was going to perform, rushed to the audience without even changing her clothes, only to witness this scene. Amazing. Her teacher was stunned for a moment, finally managing to utter only these two words. So amazing. Master Xihen truly lives up to his name. Pierre took a long time to react, walking onto the stage. He had never seen such a performance before. Truly a master of Pokémon spectacle. Master Xihen, is there anything you'd like to say to the performers? Pierre handed the microphone to Xihen, who took it. Pokémon performance, the focus is on Pokémon? Xihen deliberately repeated Pokémon performance twice with different tones. Upon hearing this, the performers suddenly realized that during the performance, they had only focused on the Pokémon and hadn't even glanced at Xihen. If Xihen were to participate in the Triple Crown Satellite Tournament, he would undoubtedly win every match overwhelmingly. I think you only need to understand this much. My apprentice, Serena, has already obtained her third gold key. This is all thanks to her own hard work, and I'm happy for her. Xihen's words immediately boosted Serena's popularity. After speaking, Xihen handed the microphone back to Pino. I didn't expect that Miss Serena was actually Master Xihen's apprentice. As far as we know, Master Xihen has another apprentice who is now a Pokémon Master in Sinnoh. Her name is Xiaoguang, Miss Xiaoguang. Many people in the audience cheered Xiaoguang's name, seemingly recognizing her. Wow! I didn't expect Xiaoguang to be so famous now. I must also strive to become a Pokémon Master. Ash, hearing the audience calling Xiaoguang's name, became even more determined. Xihen, Mei, and Catlia have already left for Snowdrift City to participate in the Pokémon Gym Tournament. Serena has also confirmed the location for the Pokémon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament's advanced round, Glorious City. However, the tournament is about to begin, so Ash and his friends decided to postpone their challenge of the Snowdrift Gym and head to Glorious City for the Pokémon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament. You're still as amazing as ever, Mei said to Xihen on the way to Snowdrift City. It's alright. Bringing Melodic and the others without any practice was a bit of a stretch for them. They just created the waterfall. It wasn't mainly thanks to Gardevoir. That makes sense. Melodic and the others seem to be well taken care of by Shuati, Catlia said. Yet, Melodic has always liked Shuati. Although he did some things wrong before, he's finally changed now. Xihen nodded. He had indeed noticed that Shuati treated Melodic and the others very well. Xihen and the others arrived at the next town. It was already evening, and the town was decorated with lanterns, giving it a somewhat Chinese feel. They seemed to be preparing for some kind of event. They're preparing for the Zapdos festival here. Every year at this time, Zapdos comes here. After learning some information from the locals, Xihen lost interest. It was just a Zapdos, after all. Just a Zapdos? If the residents heard Xihen's thoughts, they'd probably skin him alive. Besides, could they even beat Xihen? After resting for the night, Xihen and the others set off again, heading to the next town, Jeru. Although it was called a small town, it was quite bustling. Chapter 391 Snow Reflection Dojo Challenge. The next afternoon, Xihen and his group arrived at Ularu town. There seemed to be some kind of phantom thief named Niku there, a phantom thief kid invading Pokémon. There was also a locksmith named Edo. Pokémon, you're going too far. However, Xihen didn't care about any of this. He ate, trained, and rested as usual. Now that his baby Tyranitar had evolved into Megajoy, Xihen's current goal was to evolve his Fennekin into Feraligatr as soon as possible. We should be almost at Snowdrift City, right? That night, Xihen lay in bed and said to Gadria beside him. Yet, almost there. The gym leader is called Defu, and he uses Ice-type Pokémon. You probably don't like that type, do you? Ice type, huh? Xihen pouted. Camo, Megajaw, and Noivern were all dragon type. Actually, types were meaningless to Xihen now. Camo was arguably the strongest Pokemon besides the legendary ones. It's okay, just evolve Fennekin before that, then use Fennekin to battle Lucario. Gudrita fell asleep while listening. After Xihen finished speaking, she made a soft hum and fell asleep in his arms. As for May, she was so active every day, she was already exhausted and fell asleep on Xihen's other side. Xihen was also about to sleep when he received a message. Please come to Glorious City as a special guest in 3 days. The sender was the Kalos League. I know, Xihen replied. Another troublesome matter. Xihen shook his head and went to sleep. The next day, they approached Snowdrift City. As they approached, snowflakes began to fall. It's a bit cold. Gudrita breathed warm air into her hands. Xihen held Gudrita's hands and rubbed them to warm them. It's because you're so weak. Neither May nor Xihen felt very cold. It was just that Gudrita's body was too weak, so she felt cold. We'll be in Snowdrift City soon. Find a hotel and turn on the heating to wait for us. We still need to get to Glory City afterward, eh? Weren't you uninterested in the Triple Crown Satellite Tournament? I couldn't help it. The Carlos League asked me to be a special referee. Xihen sighed helplessly. I see. Then let's speed things up and get to Snowdrift City quickly, May said, starting to run. Wait, Gudrita called out to May's back, you're running too fast. This little girl. Xihen looked at May helplessly. Carry me, huh? You want me to carry you? Gudrita said, jumping onto Xihen's back. Okay, Xihen reluctantly carried Gudrita and ran. You might not believe it, but in such a cold city, Xihen felt unbearably hot. After a while, they finally arrived in Snowdrift City. Xihen took Gudrita to the hotel, and then went to the Snowdrift Gym with May. The Snowfall Gym looked like a giant ice cave, with ice spikes all over the roof. Entering the gym, you'd find yourself in the battle arena. It's cold here, but that guy doesn't seem to mind the cold, May thought, looking at the white-haired giant opposite her, who was only wearing a vest and a cape. Now, the battle between the gym leader and the challenger, Xihen, begins. The battle rules are 3 against 3. Only the challenger can change their Pokémon. Battle begins. I heard you're pretty strong. Let me see for myself. Go, Snowflake. Snowflake was the first Pokémon of the gym leader, Defu. Even though it didn't evolve, it's still okay. Go, Fennekin. He hadn't been able to evolve Fennekin in the past few days, and he didn't know what went wrong. Maybe Camo thought Fennekin was too weak and couldn't bring himself to use his full strength. Fox, Flamethrower. The move was a powerful fire-type move that countered ice-type from the start. Snowflake, dodge. Snowflake actually tilted and spun in the air, dodging Fox's Flamethrower. Ice Beam. After dodging Flamethrower, Snowflake immediately attacked. Fox, dodge and then use Will-O-Wisp. Fox rolled to avoid Ice Beam, but Will-O-Wisp caught up with Snowflake, burning it. This is bad. Snowflake, ambush. Fox's shadow suddenly moved, and a black light emerged from it, striking Fox. Fox couldn't dodge this attack and was hit in a vital spot, collapsing to the ground, unable to get up for a moment. The burn status was still affecting the geometric Snowflake, prompting Defu to quickly finish off the flame-eared Fox. Geometric Snowflake Aurora Beam. Flame-eared Fox, can you stand up now? Xihen shouted at the flame-eared Fox. Watch this. The flame-eared Fox gritted its teeth fiercely, stomped hard on the ground, and rolled in the air, emitting a light. It evolved. Defu watched the flame-eared Fox rolling in the air. I knew it, Xihen pouted. This guy didn't want to evolve because he thought it was cute as it was, so he suppressed it and prevented it from evolving. Now, not wanting to get beaten up, it made itself evolve. Is it really a unique child? Flamifox, use Flamethrower followed by Fire Blast. Xihen checked the Pokédex and found that this guy had learned a new move. Flamethrower hit the burned and already weakened Geometric Snowflake, causing it to fall to the ground and be hit by Fire Blast again, losing its ability to battle. HMPH, the long-tailed Firefox arrogantly put its hands on its hips, indicating that it deserved to be hit. Alright, come back, really? Xihen sighed and recalled her long-tail Firefox. Come back, Geometric Snowflake. Defu also recalled Geometric Snowflake. I didn't expect your flame-eared Fox to suddenly evolve. Go, Rockruff. Xihen took out her Pokédex. Rockruff, an iceberg Pokémon. Its icy body is as hard as steel. It moves by crushing anything that gets in its way with its massive body. Several ice Pokémon ride on its back, making it look like an aircraft carrier made of ice. Looks pretty good. Let me smash it. Go, Lucario. Xihen took out a Pokéball and, as planned, used Lucario to battle. It's Lucario. Go. Use Rocket Headbutt. This time, Fu attacks first, and Rockruff charged towards Lucario with incredible speed. Grab him. Receiving Xihen's instruction, Lucario reached out and grabbed Rockruff, blocking his attack. You underestimate my Lucario. Throw him aside, Lucario. Lucario lifted Rockruff's massive body and executed an over-the-shoulder throw, slamming Rockruff behind him. Bone Strike. Xihen waved his hand, and Lucario drew his Bone Club, beginning his attack on Rockruff. After Bone Strike, he engaged in close combat. Given the significant level difference, Rockruff was powerless to resist. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 392 concludes the gym battle. Rockby, U-Boil. Defu finally couldn't resist retaliating. Rockby used U-Boil, spinning rapidly to prevent Lucario from getting close. Forced to retreat, Lucario performed 2 backflips to get away. Rockby, use Hail. Rockby stopped spinning and used Hail, which began to fall from above the battlefield. The hailstones landed on Rockby, causing it to glow green, and its stamina was restored. That's Rockby's ability, Freeze Body. Getting hit by hail restores its stamina. Take this, U-Boil, Defu said, continuing his attack. This is a bit troublesome, but it's okay. Lucario, use Bone Shot to block. Xihen smiled, indicating he wasn't bothered by Rockby's ability. Lucario used Bone Shot, colliding with a U-Boil, and for a moment, it was evenly matched. However, Lucario retreated first. Rockby's spinning speed was too fast, and continuing like this would cause significant damage to its wrist. Mega Evolution, Lucario. Xihen stretched out his hand, and Lucario began its Mega Evolution, becoming Mega Lucario. Oh? Mega Evolution, although it's a bit troublesome, I'll defeat you in one go, and let's see how you recover. Rockruff was still recovering its stamina, and they needed to defeat it quickly, otherwise it would never end. Lucario, Bone Shot. The Mega Evolved Lucario charged at Rockruff with 2 bone clubs. Rockruff, U-Boil. Defu still wanted to use U-Boil to counter Lucario's Bone Shot. The 2 Pokémon collided. This time, Lucario roared and sent Rockruff flying, crashing into the wall. Aura Sphere. This was exactly what Xihen had anticipated. Xihen quickly launched his next attack, Aura Sphere, striking Rockruff. How are you going to recover now? Rockruff is unable to battle. Lucario wins. Such powerful. Alright, then let me show you my strength. Defu took out his last Pokéball. Go, Abamaznow. Mega Evolve. Defu's last Pokémon was Abamaznow, which could actually Mega Evolve. Not bad, this gym. Lucario, Aura Sphere. As soon as Abamaznow appeared, Xihen had Lucario greet it with Aura Sphere. The Aura Sphere hit Abamaznow squarely in the face, delivering a critical blow. Abamaznow, use Ice Punch. Defu wasn't to be outdone and retaliated with Ice Punch, which Lucario blocked with Bone Club. The 2 Pokémon engaged in close combat, neither gaining the upper hand for a moment. Abamaznow, use Body Slam. Defu suddenly shouted amidst the fighting. This guy actually dared to use a dirty trick. Lucario, use Glide to dodge Body Slam, then use over-the-shoulder throw. Lucario used the ice terrain to quickly glide away from Body Slam, then grabbed Abamaznow's leg and used over-the-shoulder throw, slamming Abamaznow's head to the ground. This attack was quite effective. Double Kick. Xihen wasn't finished yet, and then used Double Kick on the lying Abamaznow, followed by more close-range attacks. This fighting style is too unfair. Defu opened his mouth helplessly, but there was nothing he could do. He hadn't broken the rules. Abamaznow, use Blizzard like this. Abamaznow lay on the ground and used Blizzard, interrupting Lucario's actions, and finally got up. Use Wood Hammer. After standing up, it immediately launched an attack. Use Extreme Speed. Strike first, Xihen shouted, and Lucario used Extreme Speed, smashing away the attacking Abamaznow. Unfortunately, Abamaznow was too slow. Xihen's Pokémon are usually agile and powerful. Tyranitar doesn't count. Metagross doesn't count. Torkoal doesn't count. Well, actually, not all of Xihen's Pokémon are like that. Defies Abamaz now is completely suppressed by Xihen's Lucario. No matter how it tried to fight back, it couldn't inflict much damage on Xihen. Until it was defeated by Lucario, it couldn't inflict much damage on Xihen's Lucario. As for May's match, because Defies needed to recover his Pokémon, May's Pokémon gym battle wasn't until late afternoon. May defeated Snowdrop with Superior and Deviljo with Darmanitan, but both were defeated by Mega Evolved Abamaz now. So, Yuukin approved May's use of Entei, and the excited May almost burned down the entire gym. Both of them obtained their final badges. After resting for a night, the three finally left the cold city that Gadria hated and headed to Glorious City, the venue for the Pokémon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament's advanced matches. These videos are, Yuukin Kamiya has caught those legendary Pokémon again. With our current strength, we probably can't confront him head-on. Then what should we do? We should target those around him. Those around him are his weakness. At a certain company, two people were discussing how to deal with Yuukin. The quiet one was Takuya Kamiya's father, Takuya Kamiya, while the talkative one was Kazuo Kamiya's father, Kazuo Kamiya. Last time we messed with Catlia's house. Whose house should we go after this time? We should ask him about that. Shinba Yusuke paused for a moment, then said to Shinba Yutaka, pointing to the person next to him. Oh? What do you think, Zangji? Hurry up. We're going to be late. Xihen and his group rushed into the venue, arriving just before the deadline. They hurriedly entered and went to the VIP section, which was next to another VIP section. Xihen recognized a person there from the news, Queen Carlos's teacher, Yashio, from the World Cup? Brazil, no less, and then the match began. A large crowd had arrived at the venue. First, the host, Pierre, emerged from behind a door on the stage, followed by a spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the competition you've all been eagerly anticipating, the Triple Crown Satellite Tournament, the Master Level Advanced Tournament, the Glorious Assembly. The Glorious Assembly is now in session. With a wave of Pierre's hand, the lights in the entire venue went off, and fireworks exploded directly in front of the stage, igniting the passion of the crowd. Now, let's welcome them to the stage. Pierre's hand gestured towards the large doorway, from which numerous small rooms rose from beneath the floor. Welcome all the beautiful young women who have been chosen. Here, the Princess Golden Keys you have earned after many battles. Please use your own hands to insert the golden keys into the keyholes and personally open the doors to your future. Chapter 393 The Glorious Assembly opens. Next, the performers in the small room unlocked the door with their keys and walked out one by one to the audience. Their appearance was met with thunderous applause. After all, these were women carefully selected from across Carlos to participate in this competition. Women were key, weren't they? Next, let me introduce our special guest for this competition. Pierre waved his hand towards Yashio, and the spotlight shone on her. Yashio stood up from her chair and walked into the spotlight. She is the former queen of Carlos, the legendary producer who has created countless performances for the world, Miss Yashio. She will be participating in the competition as a special judge. I look forward to seeing all the wonderful performances you will present today. Please give your best performances, Yashio said calmly under the spotlight. I didn't expect this auntie to be so stylish, May teased again. After Yashio finished speaking, the audience cheered. It seemed that the name Yashio was quite influential in the Kalos region. Next, we have another special guest. Pierre pointed towards Xihen, who emerged from the darkness. Lady Xihen, before Pierre could even speak, some performers on stage already recognized Xihen. It seems many people know him. He is the Sinnoh champion, the top coordinator of the Wonderland region, the Pokémon Master, Kamiya Xihen. After Pierre finished speaking, even louder shouts erupted from the audience, mostly from women. Go for it, Xihen spoke into the microphone, and those two words were enough to excite many performers. To be honest, many of them had embarked on the path of Pokémon performers because they admired Xihen. With Xihen cheering them on, how could they not be happy? Alright, then let's immediately welcome the Queen onto the stage. Queen Carlos, performer, Elle emerged from the previous door alongside the fiery red fox. Her appearance was met with thunderous cheers from the audience. This Queen Carlos truly lived up to her title. Elle smiled and walked to the center of the stage. Hello, everyone, she greeted, then bowed to the audience. First, I want to say to all the performers, Elle turned to look at the performers behind her. You have all strived to stand on the same stage as me, and I express my respect for that. I will stake my title as Queen Carlos on fighting you all honorably. After speaking, Elle glanced at Serena, their eyes meeting briefly. Then, Elle turned to face the audience. Next, I want to say to the audience in the hall and those watching on television, please enjoy. Elle bowed again after speaking. Clap clap clap, Pierre clapped his hands and walked towards the stage. Thank you, Miss Heir, for your wonderful speech. Now, let me explain the competition rules. In the Master Level Advanced Tournament, there are no themed performances. All performances will be free-form to determine the winner. Furthermore, all participants must participate in all matches through an elimination tournament. Pierre snapped his fingers, and groups of 3 appeared in the air using 3D projections. The first and second rounds will be performances using 1 Pokémon each. The semifinals will be performances using 2 Pokémon each. The winner of the semifinals will have the right to challenge Queen Heir of Kalos. In other words, the winner from the final 3 semifinalists will challenge Heir, and the winner will become the new Queen of Kalos. With the rules explained, the first round of battles was about to begin. Serena's first match was against her formidable rival, love rival, and friend, Milofi, making her very nervous. In the first group of the first round, Musashi looked familiar to Xihen. Upon closer inspection, it was indeed Musashi. Xihen raised an eyebrow. This guy's performance was quite impressive, and Xihen was impressed. Therefore, Xihen cast his vote for Musashi in the first group of the first round. The Triple Crown Satellite Tournament is divided into 2 different levels, the beginner level and the master level. Trainers initially participate in the beginner level. Winning 3 or more championships in various tournaments will earn them Princess Keys. Obtaining 3 Princess Keys allows participation in the master level. The Pokemon and trainer who win the master level will receive the title of Queen Kalos. Heir is the current holder of the title of Queen Kalos. She won the master level with Fennekin. The beginner level has 2 performance categories. The first category is a themed performance, such as making a Pokemon, cooking dance, or riddles. Depending on the region of the competition, there are many other themes. The second event is the free performance, a common event across all tournaments, where participants fully utilize their Pokemon's abilities to perform alongside their trainers on stage. The Master Level High Rank Tournament doesn't have a themed performance. Instead, it features multiple elimination stages. Each stage divides performers into groups of 3 for a joint performance. Performers are given a brief greeting time before performing simultaneously. The best performance advances to the next round. The winner of each elimination round must challenge the previous Kalos Queen to achieve final victory. After the performances, the audience can vote using magic voting sticks. Depending on the event, for group performances, the performer with the most votes generally advances. For solo performances, advancement is determined by whether a certain percentage of votes are received. Master-level tournaments are broadcast live across the entire region, allowing viewers to vote using their mobile phones. The Triple Crown Satellite Tournament is a circuit tournament held sequentially in cities throughout Kalos, not simultaneously in different cities. The host of the Triple Crown Satellite Tournament is Mr. Pierre. In contrast to the contests, coordinators never participate in the performance or battles, except for a few, such as Jessie. A coordinator's purpose is to command Pokémon, not to perform alongside them. In the Triple Crown Satellite contests, however, coordinators perform alongside the Pokémon, and the performer stands in the center of the stage, not on the sidelines. Sometimes, the performer is even the main focus of the performance, which is the complete opposite of the contest's Pokémon-centric rule. Performers rarely give commands to their Pokémon during the performance, relying instead on a pre-prepared script. Furthermore, contests are open to both men and women, while Triple Crown Satellite contests are limited to women. Chapter 394 The Embarrassing Evening Mark for Heir. Serena, using her long-tailed fiery fox, won the 4th round of the first round, much to Milif's dismay. In the 5th round, Serena emerged victorious. After a series of matches, the 3 finalists were Serena, Shanna, and Jessie. Those who made it this far were undoubtedly highly skilled performers, and Xihen had high hopes for them. Xihen, however, was confident in Serena's victory. What kind of top Pokémon coordinator would she be if she didn't even believe in her own student? Jessie was the first to perform. She used Pumpkin to create giant vines on the field, made from leech seeds. The vines coalesced, allowing Jessie to sit on them. Pumpkin then used Seed Bomb to create fireworks, which Meowth then used Wild Scratches to shatter the vines, exploding into fireworks. The second was Shanna, who used Bulbasaur and Puff. First, Bulbasaur used Vine Whip to grab Shanna, then Puff used Fairy Wind, causing Shanna to spin around with the Vine Whip. Next, a backflip followed, and Bulbasaur used Vine Whip again to make Fairy Wind spin, creating a pink vortex. The battle ended with Solar Beam and Moon Attack. Finally, Serena used Sylveon and Pandora. First, Sylveon used Swift to create golden fireworks in the air, and Serena, Sylveon, and Pandora danced among them. Then, Pandora used Rock Smash to create pillars, allowing Sylveon to jump high into the air. Fairy Wind then made Serena and Pandora fly hand in hand, spinning in the air. Finally, an aerial somersault followed, and Serena, Sylveon, and Pandora performed a handstand together. However, at this moment, Xihen noticed that Serena was acting strangely. Her hand seemed to be injured, and she almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, the fairy spirit used her tentacles to support Serena, making a perfect ending. "I'm going backstage," Xihen said to May and Gadrikaya, and then went backstage to find Serena. Before that, Yashio had already entered Serena's room, and Xihen was standing at the door. "Let me see your injury," Yashio said to Serena after entering the room, and sat down next to her. "Ah. How did you know?" Serena seemed very surprised. "I can tell just by looking at her movements." Yashio grabbed Serena's hand. Serena's wrist was already very red and swollen. "You can't even grab something, can you? You should just withdraw from the finals. Someone like you can't even perform properly. There's no way you can beat Elle." Serena lowered her head, looking hesitant. At this moment, Xihen walked in. "Whether Serena gives up or not isn't up to you, Master, it's you. Her injury is very serious. Shouldn't she give up the match?" Yashio stood up and said to Xihen. "She won't give up, and she can't give up." Xihen took out a great ball, walked to Serena's side, and grabbed her hand. "Even if she wants to give up, I won't allow it." Xihen aimed the Pokeball at Serena's injured wrist. "Dialga, heal her." A circle of light appeared at the injured spot, and the redness and swelling on Serena's wrist gradually disappeared, returning to its pre-injury state. This was Dialga using its time manipulation ability to restore Serena's wrist to its uninjured state. Time stone intrusion, this is. Yashio's eyes widened in disbelief. That Dialga from earlier, the one that restored her, was something Xihen had telepathically communicated with Dialga. Focus on the match. Xihen retrieved his Pokeball, patted Serena on the shoulder, and Serena nodded firmly. Xihen then left. "Yashio-sensei. This is a dream, my dream and the dream of my Pokemon. I will never give up until the very end," Serena said to Yashio after Xihen left. "Really? How can it be so similar? Good luck." Yashio smiled and then left as well. The finals began, and 3 Pokemon could be used. First, Serena, as the challenger, performed. Serena's Pokemon were naturally Sylveon, Fennekin, and Pancham. Serena began her performance, playing a song. First, Serena and her Pokemon danced to the rhythm. Then, Fennekin used Flamethrower, and Pancham used Dark Pulse. The two moves collided, creating a small sun. Sylveon detonated the mini-sun with Swift, scattering golden fireworks. Next, Fennekin used a stick to create half a circle of fire on the stage. Serena took the stick and created the other half, surrounding Serena and her Pokemon in flames. Pancham then used Rock Smash, creating another circle, forming a double encirclement. Sylveon stepped onto a pillar and used Fairy Wind, sending Serena and her Pokemon flying. Finally, Pancham used Dark Pulse, Fennekin used Fire Blast, and Sylveon's Fairy Wind enveloped all the moves, creating a large flower of fire. Although it only exploded for a moment, it was still breathtaking. Serena, panting, looked at the lights above the stage. She had given it her all. "Well done, Serena," Xihen silently praised. Next up was Heir's performance. To be honest, it wasn't very good. I'm too lazy to describe it. Her performance was insulting to my intelligence. In the end, Heir still won, probably because of her popularity as the Kalos Queen. Heir retained her position as the Kalos Queen, but this time Serena's votes were only a hair's breadth away from Heir's, perhaps because of Xihen. Heir, who brilliantly won the championship, is awarded the title of Kalos Queen, and this crown, that crown is the symbol of the Kalos Queen. The Pokémon Triple Crown Satellite Tournament Advanced Round ended, and as everyone was about to leave the venue, Xihen took up the topic. Personally, I think Serena won. Xihen said this, put down the microphone, and left. This was a slap in the face to Heir and Yashio, and the venue fell into an awkward silence. The person who made the venue like this, Xihen, had already left the venue. If anyone else had said this, they might have been treated as a joke, but since it was Xihen who said it, who dared to object, and who could object? Wait a minute, Xihen had already walked out of the venue when someone chased after her. Xihen turned around and saw it was Yashio. Miss Yashio, is there something you need? Xihen didn't speak, it was Gadria who spoke. Why do you think Serena won? What makes her better than Heir? Pokémon performers are supposed to bring joy to the audience, and she didn't do that, didn't she? Xihen's eyes narrowed. The audience was happy when Serena performed. She only lost because of Heir's popularity as the Queen of Kalos. If there's a challenge next time, Serena will be the winner. Chapter 395 The Kalos Alliance opens. Let's go to Lunar City first. Lunar? Why Lunar City? Xihen asked Gadria curiously. Huh? Didn't you know? The Kalos League is going to be held in Lunar City. Gadria showed Xihen some information. Lunar City was already preparing the venue, and the competition was about to begin. I see. It's not far from here to Lunar City, and the opening ceremony is still more than a week away. Why don't we go to Battle Castle first? We have nothing else to do anyway, so let's upgrade our titles, Xihen said after looking at the information. May and Gadria nodded in agreement. The group used Gardevoir to go to Battle Castle and began Xihen's title upgrade battle. They stayed there for about 5 days. Perhaps because the Kalos League was about to open, there weren't many people. Xihen only upgraded one title, but it caused May's Pandora to evolve into Rogue Pandora. May immediately felt that he was no longer cute and didn't want him anymore, but she was also quite helpless. Xihen, May, and Gradelia arrived in Lumiose City, of course, using Gardevoir's teleportation. After registering, the three went to the hotel to wait for the Kalos League opening ceremony, which was just a day away. Many trainers had gathered in Lumiose City. Xihen, trainers were gathered in the venue, where many tables and chairs were set up for them to wait. Someone called out to Xihen. It's Ash. Gradelia turned around and said to Xihen, of course I know it's him. He always shouts that before every tournament. Xihen smiled and shook his head. He remembered several previous tournaments where he had been waiting there when Xihen appeared and shouted, it was undoubtedly Ash. Looks like you got all the badges too, Ash. Xihen turned back to Ash and said. Of course. I still want to win and become a Kalos champion. Ash was talking big again. That'll have to wait until you beat me, Xihen pouted and said. Next came the group battles. The first group was Elaine versus Dorothy, and it seemed Dorothy was in for a tough time. The second group was Ash's battle, while Xihen was in the third group, facing a guy named Luigi with a Mega Evolved Garchomp. The competition started the next morning. Before the semi-finals, everyone used 3 Pokémon. First up was Elaine and Dorothy, both starting with Charizard, but both had Mega Evolved. The difference was that Elaine's Charizard underwent an X evolution, becoming a black Charizard, while Dorothy's Charizard underwent a Y evolution, still a red Charizard, but with a different appearance. In the end, Dorothy lost to Elaine, even being defeated by Elaine in a 3-on-1 battle. Although Dorothy was very unwilling, a loss is a loss. Next was Ash's match. Although Ash almost forfeited due to being late for some unknown reason, he luckily made it in at the last minute. Ash immediately used Mega Greninja, instantly defeating his opponent's 3 Pokémon and securing the victory. Next up is Luigi and, oh my, this guy is incredible, he's the Sinnoh champion. Yuki Shinohara. The referee was startled when he saw the list. Yuki. There were quite a few Yuki Shinohara fans in the audience. After all, Yuki Shinohara's arrival in the Kalos region wasn't exactly a secret. Yuki Shinohara's opponent, Luigi, was incredibly nervous, since his strongest Pokémon was Mega Garchomp, and the person in front of him was the strongest Garchomp user, who had even developed a divine form of Garchomp that was even stronger than Mega Evolution, Garchomp. Focus on the battle. Seeing the distracted Luigi, Yuki Shinohara said, taking out a Pokéball. Yuki Shinohara is about to battle. Their terrain is rock terrain. Go, Noivern. Yuki Shinohara's first Pokémon was Noivern. Please, Buffalo. Luigi's first Pokémon was Buffalo. They've appeared. First up are Noivern and Bulbasaur. What will Lewis do against the powerful Sinnoh champion? The host shouted into the microphone. Noivern, Dragon Dive. This was the killing move Garchomp taught Noivern, and Noivern really lived up to expectations, learning it. Dragon Dive charged fiercely towards Bulbasaur. Although Bulbasaur tried to dodge, it was too late, and Noivern was sent flying. Hyper Beam, of course. Xihen continued the attack. Hyper Beam hit Bulbasaur, instantly defeating it. Instant kill. Bulbasaur was completely powerless, instantly killed by Bulbasaur. What? Come back, Bulbasaur. Lewis had no choice but to recall Bulbasaur. What will Lewis do next? Go, Tyrannosaurus. The so-called Tyrannosaurus was just a Mega Tyrannosaurus. It's Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex, go. Use Rock Blast. Lewis launched the first attack, and rocks began to roll towards Noivern. Noivern, rise higher to dodge, then use Sonic Blast. Noivern rose higher to dodge the Rock Blast, then used Sonic Blast to attack Tyrannosaurus Rex from a distance. Dragon Dive, then came Dragon Dive, which was very fast and hit Tyrannosaurus Rex directly. Tyrannosaurus Rex actually tried to block Noivern's Dragon Dive, but this was obviously impossible, and it only caused it more damage. Hyper Beam, next, Hyper Beam hit Tyrannosaurus Rex, rendering it unable to battle. Tyrannosaurus Rex, I'm unable to battle. Noivern wins. That Dragon Dive was really difficult to deal with. Lewis gritted his teeth. If he couldn't deal with that kind of Dragon Dive, he had no chance of winning. Xihen's Noivern is so strong. Ash and the others tense up in the stands. What would they do if they encountered Xihen? I'm going to defeat Noivern. All our efforts so far can't be in vain. Go, my Bite. The so-called Bite was his Garchomp. This guy even gave his Pokémon a name. Mega Evolve, Bite. Lewis immediately Mega Evolve Garchomp. We need to attack proactively and prevent him from using any moves. Go, use Dragon Meteor. Garchomp's first move was Dragon Meteor, forcing Noivern to dodge passively. However, Dragon Meteor was difficult to dodge, and one of the meteors still hit. Now, use Dragon Dive. This time, Lewis's Garchomp used Dragon Dive, which attacked the defenseless Noivern, sending it flying again. Back to the party. Hyper Beam. Lewis was very vengeful. After Dragon Dive, he used Hyper Beam, mimicking Xihen's move. Noivern is unable to battle. Garchomp wins. Noivern is down. Luigi actually defeated the champion's Pokémon? This is enough for him to brag about for a while. Garchomp, huh? I'll show you what the real Garchomp looks like. Xihen recalled Noivern and took out another Pokéball. Chapter 396 Quarterfinals Battle against Ailan. Camo, go. Without even moving the Pokéball in his hand, Camo appeared on the field. It felt like only a blink of an eye, and a Pokémon they'd never seen before appeared. It looked like Garchomp, but it wasn't. It's here. This is Master Xihen's strongest Garchomp. The Divine Garchomp. This is the strongest Pokémon, second only to the legendary Pokémon. The host kindly explained the origin of this Garchomp to the audience. This is Garchomp. Lewis trembled all over. What was this killing intent? Camo stood there motionless, staring at the Mega Garchomp in front of him, saying nothing and making no sound, yet everyone could feel his killing intent. The Mega Garchomp seemed unable to bear it any longer, roaring loudly and using a slash to strike Camo. Garchomp. Stop. Lewis tried to stop the Garchomp, but his Garchomp had already lost its mind, completely ignoring its trainer's words. Camo grabbed Mega Garchomp's wrist with one hand, preventing its slash from landing, and with the other hand, grabbed Mega Garchomp's neck, lifting it up. Incredible. Luigi's Mega Garchomp's attack was completely ineffective, easily blocked, and he was even easily lifted up. There's something I need to explain. Xihen's voice echoed through the arena. Before each battle, a small microphone was attached to each trainer, allowing the audience to hear their commands. My Camo can defeat some legendary Pokémon, not just the strongest besides the legendary ones. Xihen's words caused a stir in the arena. No one had expected this Pokémon to be so powerful. Fantastic. This is true battle instinct. In the special spectator stands high above, Flata stared at Xihen and Camo with fanatical eyes, as if he wanted to devour them. He was immediately met with a warning look from Xihen, and he was completely taken aback. How did this guy know he was watching him? Actually, it was the venomous snake inside Xihen's body that told him he was being targeted. Mega Garchomp was lifted up by Camo, and just as it was about to suffocate, Camo flung it away, slamming it against a rock, followed by a powerful hyper beam, instantly rendering Garchomp unable to battle. The entire rocky arena began to collapse. "Come back," Xihen recalled Camo and then left the arena. So strong. In the audience, Elaine watched Xihen's departing figure. Could he really defeat someone like that? How did that Pokemon even appear? So amazing. Ash and his friends were stunned. How could they possibly win the Kalos Championship? Alright. Xihen wins this match. Next up is Mei vs Zhongxiang. Mei's match was next. Zhongxiang had reached the top 8 in the original tournament, and now that she had met Mei, it seemed her Kalos League journey was over. Mei is quite strong, possessing the legendary Pokemon, Entei. It's the strongest Pokemon, Volcarona, that once defeated Unova champion Aldebaran. How will Zhongxiang cope? Oh, hearing about Entei, the audience was excited. They might even see a legendary Pokemon in this match. However, Mei defeated Zhongxiang without even using Entei. Zhongxiang's final Mega Absol was defeated by Mei's Superior and Zoroark. Although Zhongxiang defeated Mei's Rogue and Superior, Zoroark eventually became her Mega Absol, leaving Zhongxiang unable to continue. After a day of battles, the top 48 were selected, and the next day selected the top 24 and top 8. The current top 8 are Xihen, Mei, Ash, Elaine, Shota, and 3 other trainers. Mei, Shota, and Ash will face the other 3 trainers, while Elaine will face Xihen. Their match will begin on the second day. As evening fell, someone approached Xihen, who was adjusting his Pokemon at the battle arena on the hotel rooftop. Xihen had just changed his Pokemon and recalled it when the person arrived. "Hello, I'm a representative of the Ladratari Foundation, Ladratari said, extending his hand to Xihen. Xihen didn't even glance at him and brushed past him. "Stop with your petty schemes," Xihen said as he passed, leaving the embarrassed Ladratari behind. Left alone on the rooftop, Ladratari clenched his fists. "Foolish humans, we'll see." The next day, the competition began. The first match was Mei's. Those who made it to the top 8 were all quite skilled, and Mei had a tough time, but she still managed to win using Raider, Superior, and Darmanitan. Next was Ash, who won using Battlebird, Noivern, and Pikachu. Then came Shota's battle, which he also won. The final, grand finale was the battle between Xihen and Elaine. Next up is today's main event. The battle between the Dark Horse, Elaine, and Master Xihen. Will Elaine continue his winning streak? Go, Persian. Xihen's first Pokemon was Persian, a Persian that hadn't appeared in a long time. Go, Tyranitar. Elaine's first Pokemon was Tyranitar. Tyranitar's ability is Sandstorm, and it created a sandstorm as soon as it appeared, making it impossible for Persian to see its target. However, Xihen didn't care. Persian, use Rain Dance. Persian used Rain Dance and successfully eliminated the sandstorm. Let them see your speed. Quick attack. As soon as Xihen finished speaking, Tyranitar flew off, and Persian was already licking its paws where Tyranitar had been. What speed is that? The host and Elaine were both stunned. Tyranitar got up and rubbed its eyes in disbelief. What was the thing that just swooshed away? Volt attack. Xihen continued to attack. Persian ran up and a bolt of lightning knocked Tyranitar away. Although it didn't damage the ground-type Tyranitar, Xihen just wanted to see Tyranitar get knocked away by lightning. This Persian is still so fast. Ash and Pikachu, who had defeated Persian before, were excited to see Persian's speed. They hadn't expected that they could defeat Persian with just one hit. "Come back, you can't defeat him," Xihen recalled Persian. It was too much trouble for Persian to defeat Tyranitar. Go, Greninja. After recalling Persian, it was Greninja's turn. The rain was still falling from the sky, and Greninja's water-type moves were enhanced. "Let's begin, Greninja." Yuhan's eyes narrowed, and Greninja's gaze also turned serious. The two stared at Tyranitar, and Greninja's appearance began to change. Unlike Ash's water tornado, Greninja instantly transformed into Bond Greninja, carrying a giant shuriken on its back. Yuhan's Greninja can change its form too. Chapter 397 The Invincible Metagross Monster. Yes, an incredible Greninja. Following Ash, Yuhan's Greninja has also evolved in an incredible way. What the hell? Tyranitar was on the verge of tears. What kind of monsters had they encountered today? Greninja, Water Shuriken. Yuhan didn't waste any words and immediately launched an attack. Greninja sprinted and threw out Water Shuriken. Tyranitar had no chance to defend and was hit by the Water Shuriken. Hydro Pump. After Water Shuriken came Hydro Pump. This time, Tyranitar was directly knocked out of the battle. Tyranitar is unable to battle. Greninja wins. Come back, Tyranitar. Go, Metagross. Elaine reluctantly recalled Tyranitar and took out Metagross. Metagross, Electro Cannon. Elaine immediately launched an attack, but Greninja was very fast and quickly jumped to a small hill to dodge. There were still many small hills in grassy terrain. So fast. Metagross uses Psychic to grab him. Elaine wanted Metagross to grab Greninja and attack. Backflip to create distance. Xihen gave the command quickly, but it was too late. Greninja was grabbed by Metagross's Psychic and slammed onto a small hill, then hit by Hyper Beam. Phew, Greninja got up and breathed a sigh of relief. It could still fight. Greninja, Water Shuriken. Greninja quickly attacked the stunned Metagross. Metagross was hit by Greninja's Water Shuriken. Greninja, Slash. Greninja quickly charged forward and attacked Metagross repeatedly with Slash. Give him the final Hyper Beam, Xihen shouted, then used Hyper Beam to finish off Metagross. When the battle ended, Xihen plopped down on the ground, exhausted. Come back and rest, Greninja. Xihen recalled Greninja. Letting Greninja rest was also letting himself rest. After our last battle, we've worked very hard to improve ourselves. Let me show you how much we've grown. Elaine took out his last Charizard. Go, Charizard. Although I'd like to see your growth, I'm a bit tired right now, so never mind. Let's go, Metagross. Xihen took out Metagross. Metagross's ability to control the earth had improved considerably. This battle would make the world recognize Metagross in a new light. It's Metagross. Master Xihen's Metagross hasn't appeared for a long time. Has it stopped training? According to the information we just gathered, Master Xihen's Metagross seems to possess the power to control the earth. Metagross, fight, evolution key. Answer my heart, super evolution, mega evolution, Charizard. Did Elaine always have to say this when mega evolving? Charizard and Metagross underwent mega evolution together. Give up, you're no match for them. As soon as Xihen finished speaking, the ground beneath Charizard's feet transformed into pillars, binding it. Charizard desperately tried to break free, but to no avail, and was pinned to the ground by the pillars, unable to move. Charizard. Get out, Elaine shouted anxiously. Was this really a move Metagross could use? This didn't seem like a Pokémon move, it was just pure control of the ground. Stop struggling, Xihen stood up. You're not going to fight back, Metagross. Show him. Metagross nodded, and then the entire battlefield transformed into countless twisting pillars, leaving only the patch of ground beneath Charizard's body, as if Charizard had fallen into a snake pit and was surrounded by snakes. This is absolutely astonishing. The entire arena has become Metagross's weapon. Elaine's Charizard had no chance to fight back. The strongest Metagross is no longer me. Dago raised an eyebrow, watching the TV screen. How could his Metagross possess such power? Come back, Charizard. Elaine recalled his Charizard and forfeited. Such a Pokémon was simply impossible to battle against. When Xihen saw Metagross yesterday, he himself was shocked. The Metagross that could only control a small area of the ground before could now control a vast area, and after Mega Evolution, it could even precisely control the surrounding ground. This meant that some legendary Pokémon might be defeated by Metagross. Come back, Metagross. This was why Xihen had defined Metagross as a ground-type mainstay. With its power to control the ground, if Metagross were given another chance to grow, it wouldn't just be a pseudo-legendary. So the last player to enter the semifinals is Xihen. Can anyone defeat Master Xihen? Will Master Xihen conquer the Kalos region again? See you in the finals tomorrow. Metamorphose is so strong now. May, Xihen, and Catlia chatted while eating at the restaurant. Yet, I didn't expect him to be this strong. Nedge once told me that Metagross would scare me. It really did scare me. Catlia smiled and said. Xihen. Ash's voice came from behind Xihen, so Ash and the others friendly mooched another meal from Xihen. Xihen, can your Greninja also change its appearance? Ash asked Xihen during the meal. Change its appearance? Xihen raised an eyebrow. I thought you knew that your Greninja could use Bond phenomenon. Bond Phen. Evolution. Ash seemed puzzled. Greninja's form is called Bond phenomenon, an evolution that occurs when the bond between a Pokémon and its trainer reaches a certain level. Only a very few Pokémon can do this. It's a hidden ability, Xihen explained, seeing that he genuinely didn't know. Oh, I see, Ash exclaimed, feigning understanding. So that's what Bond phenomenon is called, Ash. If we meet in the semifinals, let's battle it out with Greninja and my Greninja. Xihen wanted to see which Greninja's bond phenomenon was stronger. Of course, no problem, Ash agreed excitedly. He hadn't been able to get Xihen to agree to battle him many times before, and he really wanted to fight Xihen in the Kalos League. Even if you witnessed Xihen's terrifying strength, Ash wouldn't back down. That's Ash for you. Xihen nodded. The next 4-team tournament will use 6 Pokémon. The 4 who will advance are Xihen, Ozzy, May, and Shota. Ozzy also wants to battle Shota and Xihen, but the chances are slim unless Xihen encounters May in the next match. Chapter 398. Don't buy this chapter. Don't buy this chapter. Don't buy this chapter. Don't buy this chapter. Yes, the incredible Greninja. Following Ash, Xihen's Greninja has also evolved in an incredible way. What the hell? Tyranitar was already on the verge of tears. What kind of monsters had they encountered today? Greninja, Water Shuriken. Xihen didn't waste any words and immediately launched an attack. Greninja sprinted forward and threw out Water Shuriken. Tyranitar couldn't defend against it and was hit by the Water Shuriken. Hydro Pump. After Water Shuriken came Hydro Pump, and Tyranitar was immediately knocked out of the battle. Tyranitar is unable to battle. Greninja wins. Come back, Tyranitar. Go, Metagross. Elaine reluctantly recalled Tyranitar and took out Metagross. Metagross, Electro Cannon. Elaine immediately launched an attack, but Greninja was very fast and quickly jumped to a small hill to dodge. There were still many small hills in grassy terrain. So fast. Metagross uses Psychic to grab him. Elaine wanted Metagross to grab Greninja and attack. Backflip to create distance. Xihen gave the command quickly, but it was too late. Greninja was grabbed by Metagross's Psychic and slammed onto a small hill, then hit by Hyper Beam. Phew, Greninja got up and breathed a sigh of relief. It could still fight. Greninja, Water Shuriken. Greninja quickly attacked the stunned Metagross. Metagross was hit by Greninja's Water Shuriken. Greninja, Slash. Greninja quickly charged forward and attacked Metagross repeatedly with Slash. Give him the final Hyper Beam, Xihen shouted, then used the Hyper Beam to finish off Metagross. When the battle ended, Xihen plopped down on the ground, exhausted. Come back and rest, Greninja. Xihen recalled Greninja. Letting Greninja rest was also letting himself rest. After our last battle, we've worked very hard to improve ourselves. Let me show you how much we've grown. Elaine took out his last Charizard. Go, Charizard. Although I'd like to see your growth, I'm a bit tired right now, so never mind. Let's go, Metagross. Xihen took out Metagross. Metagross's ability to control the earth had improved considerably. This battle would make the world recognize Metagross in a new light. It's Metagross. Master Xihen's Metagross hasn't appeared for a long time. Has it stopped training? According to the information we just gathered, Master Xihen's Metagross seems to possess the power to control the earth. Metagross, fight, evolution key. Answer my heart, super evolution, mega evolution, Charizard. Did Elaine always have to say this when mega evolving? Charizard and Metagross underwent mega evolution together. Give up, you're no match for them. As soon as Xihen finished speaking, the ground beneath Charizard's feet transformed into pillars, binding it. Charizard desperately tried to break free, but to no avail, and was pinned to the ground by the pillars, unable to move. Charizard. Get out, Elaine shouted anxiously. Was this really a move Metagross could use? This didn't seem like a Pokemon move, it was just pure control of the ground. Stop struggling, Xihen stood up. You're not going to fight back, Metagross. Show him, Metagross nodded, and then the entire battlefield transformed into countless twisting pillars, leaving only the patch of ground beneath Charizard's body, as if Charizard had fallen into a snake pit and was surrounded by snakes. This is absolutely astonishing. The entire arena has become Metagross's weapon. Elaine's Charizard had no chance to fight back. The strongest Metagross is no longer me. Dago raised an eyebrow, watching the TV screen. How could his Metagross possess such power? Come back, Charizard. Elaine recalled his Charizard and forfeited. Such a Pokemon was simply impossible to battle against. When Xihen saw Metagross yesterday, he himself was shocked. The Metagross that could only control a small area of the ground before could now control a vast area, and after Mega Evolution, it could even precisely control the surrounding ground. This meant that some legendary Pokemon might be defeated by Metagross. Come back, Metagross. This was why Xihen had defined Metagross as a ground-type mainstay. With his power to control the ground, If Metagross were given another chance to grow, it wouldn't just be a pseudo-legendary. So the last player to enter the semifinals is Xihen. Can anyone defeat Master Xihen? Will Master Xihen conquer the Kalos region again? See you in the finals tomorrow. Metamorphose is so strong now. May, Xihen, and Catlia chatted while eating at the restaurant. Yeah, I didn't expect him to be this strong. Nedge once told me that Metagross would scare me. It really did scare me. Catlia smiled and said. Xihen. Ash's voice came from behind Xihen, so Ash and the others friendly mooched another meal from Xihen. Xihen, can your Greninja also change its appearance? Ash asked Xihen during the meal. Change its appearance? Xihen raised an eyebrow. I thought you knew that your Greninja could use bond phenomenon, bond phen. Evolution. Ash seemed puzzled. Greninja's form is called bond phenomenon, an evolution that occurs when the bond between a Pokémon and its trainer reaches a certain level. Only a very few Pokémon can do this, it's a hidden ability, Xihen explained, seeing that he genuinely didn't know. Oh, I see, Ash exclaimed, feigning understanding. So that's what bond phenomenon is called. Ash, if we meet in the semifinals, let's battle it out with Greninja and my Greninja. Xihen wanted to see which Greninja's bond phenomenon was stronger. Of course, no problem, Ash agreed excitedly. He hadn't been able to get Xihen to agree to battle him many times before, and he really wanted to fight Xihen in the Kalos League. Even if you witnessed Xihen's terrifying strength, Ash wouldn't back down. That's Ash for you. Xihen nodded. The next 4-team tournament will use 6 Pokémon. The 4 who will advance are Xihen, Xiaozi, May, and Shota. Xiaozi also wants to battle Shota and Xihen, but the chances are slim unless Xihen encounters May in the next match. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Don't buy chapter 399 either. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Yes, an incredible Greninja. Following Ash, Xihen's Greninja has also evolved in an incredible way. What the hell? Tyranitar was already on the verge of tears. What kind of monsters had he encountered today? Greninja, Water Shuriken. Xihen didn't waste any words and immediately started attacking. Greninja sprinted and threw out Water Shuriken. Tyranitar couldn't defend against it and was hit by the Water Shuriken. Hydraulic Gun. After Water Shuriken came Hydraulic Gun. This time, Tyranitar was directly knocked out of the battle. Tyranitar is unable to battle. Greninja wins. Come back, Tyranitar. Go, Metagross. Elaine reluctantly recalled Tyranitar and took out Metagross. Metagross, Electro Cannon. Elaine immediately launched an attack, but Greninja was very fast and quickly jumped to a small hill to the side to dodge. There were still many small hills in grassy terrain. So fast. Metagross uses Psychic to grab him. Elaine wanted Metagross to grab Greninja and attack. Backflip to create distance. Xihen gave the command quickly, but it was too late. Greninja was grabbed by Metagross's Psychic and slammed onto a small hill, then hit by Hyper Beam. Phew, Greninja got up and breathed a sigh of relief. It could still fight. Greninja, Water Shuriken. Greninja quickly attacked the stunned Metagross. Metagross was hit by Greninja's Water Shuriken. Greninja, Slash. Greninja quickly charged forward and attacked Metagross repeatedly with Slash. Give him the final Hyper Beam, Xihen shouted, then used the Hyper Beam to finish off Metagross. When the battle ended, Xihen plopped down on the ground, exhausted. Come back and rest, Greninja. Xihen recalled Greninja. Letting Greninja rest was also letting himself rest. After our last battle, we've worked very hard to improve ourselves. Let me show you how much we've grown. Elaine took out his last Charizard. Go, Charizard. Although I'd like to see your growth, I'm a bit tired right now, so never mind. Let's go, Metagross. Xihen took out Metagross. Metagross's ability to control the earth had improved considerably. This battle would make the world recognize Metagross in a new light. It's Metagross. Master Xihen's Metagross hasn't appeared for a long time. Has it stopped training? According to the information we just gathered, Master Xihen's Metagross seems to possess the power to control the earth. Metagross, fight, evolution key. Answer my heart, super evolution, mega evolution, Charizard. Did Elaine always have to say this when mega evolving? Charizard and Metagross underwent mega evolution together. Give up, you're no match for them. As soon as Xihen finished speaking, The ground beneath Charizard's feet transformed into pillars, binding it. Charizard desperately tried to break free, but to no avail, and was pinned to the ground by the pillars, unable to move. Charizard! Get out, Alan shouted anxiously. Was this really a move Metagross could use? This didn't seem like a Pokemon move, it was just pure control of the ground. Stop struggling, Xihen stood up. You're not going to fight back, Metagross. Show him, Metagross nodded, and then the entire battlefield transformed into countless twisting pillars, leaving only the patch of ground beneath Charizard's body, as if Charizard had fallen into a snake pit and was surrounded by snakes. This is absolutely astonishing. The entire arena has become Metagross's weapon. Elaine's Charizard had no chance to fight back. The strongest Metagross is no longer me. Dago raised an eyebrow, watching the TV screen. How could his Metagross possess such power? Come back, Charizard. Elaine recalled his Charizard and forfeited. Such a Pokemon was simply impossible to battle against. When Xihen saw Metagross yesterday, he himself was shocked. The Metagross that could only control a small area of the ground before could now control a vast area, and after Mega Evolution, it could even precisely control the surrounding ground. This meant that some legendary Pokemon might be defeated by Metagross. Come back, Metagross. This was why Xihen had defined Metagross as a ground-type mainstay. With his power to control the ground, if Metagross were given another chance to grow, it wouldn't just be a pseudo-legendary. So the last player to enter the semifinals is Xihen. Can anyone defeat Master Xihen? Will Master Xihen conquer the Kalos region again? See you in the finals tomorrow. Metamorphose is so strong now. May, Xihen, and Catlia chatted while eating at the restaurant. Yet, I didn't expect him to be this strong. Nedge once told me that Metagross would scare me. It really did scare me. Catlia smiled and said. Xihen, Ash's voice came from behind Xihen, so Ash and the others friendly mooched another meal from Xihen. Xihen, can your Greninja also change its appearance? Ash asked Xihen during the meal. Change its appearance? Xihen raised an eyebrow. I thought you knew that your Greninja could use Bond Phenomenon, Bond Phen. Evolution, Ash seemed puzzled. Greninja's form is called Bond Phenomenon, an evolution that occurs when the bond between a Pokemon and its trainer reaches a certain level. Only a very few Pokemon can do this, it's a hidden ability, Xihen explained, seeing that he genuinely didn't know. Oh, I see, Ash exclaimed, feigning understanding. So that's what Bond Phenomenon is called. Ash, if we meet in the semifinals, let's battle it out with Greninja and my Greninja. Xihen wanted to see which Greninja's Bond Phenomenon was stronger. Of course, no problem, Ash agreed excitedly. He hadn't been able to get Xihen to agree to battle him many times before, and he really wanted to fight Xihen in the Kalos League. Even if you witnessed Xihen's terrifying strength, Ash wouldn't back down. That's Ash for you. Xihen nodded. The next 4-team tournament will use 6 Pokemon. The 4 who will advance are Xihen, Ozzy, May, and Shota. Ozzy also wants to battle Shota and Xihen, but the chances are slim unless Xihen encounters May in the next match. Chapter 400 Finals, a showdown with Ash. In the subsequent semifinals, Yuuki and May were grouped together, while Ash and Shota were grouped together. May immediately withdrew, as she hadn't planned to fight Yuuki and thought she could make it all the way to the finals. However, she ended up facing Yuuki in the semifinals. Ash and Shota had a fantastic match, with Pikachu playing a significant role, and Ash ultimately won, advancing to the finals against Yuuki. Finally, we've arrived at our final battle. It's Ash and Master Yuuki. Ash will challenge Sinnoh champion Yuuki here. In my personal opinion, regardless of victory or defeat, Ash will have no regrets. The audience's enthusiasm was high as the final match approached, and the host seemed even happier, feeling as if he were hosting a championship challenge. This wasn't the first time Xihen had battled Ash at the tournament, but it was their first time facing off in the finals. Ash was stubborn, insisting on using Pokemon caught in the Kalos region, so Xihen also only used Kalos Pokemon. But were Ash's Kalos Pokemon really a match for Xihen? The moment has finally arrived. Xihen, Ash thought to himself, looking at Xihen opposite him, and resolutely turned his head in a different direction, a serious declaration of his determination. If any side loses 3 Pokemon, the battle will change. The battle begins. The first battleground was a rock and water field with a small river running between the 2 sides. I choose you. Go, Battlebird. Ash took out his first Pokemon, Battlebird. Go, Fennekin. Xihen also took out his first Pokémon, Fennekin, currently the weakest Pokémon he had, lacking any special features. It was uncertain whether it could defeat Ash's Battlebird. Flybird, use Flyland. Ash launched the first attack, Flybird using Flyland to charge at Fennekin. Fennekin, use Flamethrower. Fennekin used Flamethrower to attack Flybird, but Flybird was fast enough to dodge the Flamethrower and hit Fennekin with Flyland. In their first encounter, Ash was at a disadvantage. Not bad, kid. Fennekin, use Lucky Charm, then use Fire Blast. Fennekin swung her stick, cast Lucky Charm on herself, and then used Fire Blast, which Flybird narrowly dodged. What kind of move is Lucky Charm? Serena, who owned Fennekin, was naturally very interested in this. Lucky Charm makes her immune to critical hits for 5 turns. Ash used this move to defend against Flybird's flying knee kick. Right, Clement, sitting next to Serena, said to her. I see. Serena nodded, indicating that she understood. Flamethrower. After the Flamethrower was dodged, Xihen used Flamethrower again. Although this time it hit, the continuous use of moves still caught the poorly trained Fennekin off guard. It was hit back by Asgard's flying knee, giving Asgard the rhythm of the battle. From then on, Fennekin was completely overwhelmed. Fennekin is unable to battle, Asgard wins, oh dear. Master Xihen was defeated in the first battle. Ash is indeed a very strong player, the host said with regret when he saw Fennekin's defeat. Not bad, Xihen recalled Fennekin and praised Ash. Now Ash had the advantage. Of course, we made ample preparations to deal with you. Go, Cygnus. Xihen took out his second Pokémon, Cygnus. Ah. That baby Tyrannosaurus evolved. Eurydice seemed very interested in Cygnus. Gibberish, Rock Seal. Xihen immediately attacked after taking out Gobby, controlling rocks to smash towards Battlebird. This is Mr. Check close. Serena, observing Gobby's control of the rocks, immediately recognized it as Chaklo's formidable rock seal. Battlebird, dodge. Ash told Battlebird to dodge, but rocks continued to rain down, hindering its movements. Stone Slash, Hyper Beam. Xihen had Gobby used 2 moves. Gobby slammed into the ground, creating a pillar that launched Battlebird into the air, followed by Hyper Beam, completely engulfing Battlebird. After the Hyper Beam ended, Battlebird was unable to battle. Battlebird is unable to battle, and Cygnus wins. Master Xihen is back. Now Ash is going to bring out his second Pokémon. This Cygnus evolved from the baby Gyarados that Chaklo gave me, which is why I used a rock seal like Chaklo's. Xihen saw the confusion on Ash's face and said to him. I see. Come back and rest, Battlebird. Ash recalled Battlebird and brought out his second Pokémon. I choose you, Talonflame, to deal with the rock type and dragon type Cygnus. That guy actually used a flying type and fire type Talonflame. May raised an eyebrow and pointed at Talonflame on the field, saying to Gadria. Who knows what he was thinking? Gadria also pursed her lips. She couldn't understand what Ash was trying to do either. Xihen actually had a vague feeling that this was Ash's original, absolute order of appearance. He just came out according to his own idea, and that was indeed the case. Ragnaros, use Flame Attack. Ash launched an attack, trying to boost Ragnaros's speed with Flame Attack. Goblin, use Iron Defense. Xihen defended first, using Iron Defense to block Ragnaros's Flame Attack. Rock Seal, Xihen then used Rock Seal, trying to catch Ragnaros, but Ragnaros was too fast for Goblin to keep up with, and Rock Seal was ineffective. Xihen was speechless. Ash seemed to have stumbled upon a way to deal with the Goblin. Come back, Goblin. Helpless, Xihen recalled Goblin and took out his third Pokémon, which he hadn't used much since getting it. Go, Gyarados. It was that golden Gyarados, which Professor Yamanashi had taken after capturing it. Because of a competition, Xihen had gotten it back. Ash had personally watched Gyarados evolve from a golden Magikarp into golden Gyarados before Xihen captured it. This golden Gyarados was quite powerful. He wondered what special ability Flash gave it. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.